Welcome back to the Intercut podcast, where we're going to be explaining everything from the movies, the barbecue, the music, the campfire stories that we have to tell y'all here from the South by Southwest. I was going to say international, but it's kind of for global movies. It's a
Yeah.
pretty big festival. We had the chance to go twice as a group now, and I think that every time we go to South by, it gets better. I think every time that we show up, we have gone farther and farther away from the movie, surprisingly. But it's always a good time. I am joined, as always, by Amanda the Jedi and Zachary Shevik. We made the trip down there. We're all back home in our respective places, where it is freezing cold and the complete opposite of summer.
Yeah.
Didn't the groundhog say or whatever say that spring was coming early?
Yeah, it
that
did.
guy's lying.
He lied.
Bitch is lying.
He needs to just go back to his hole. But
Yeah, where's Bill Murray to kill that guy when you need him, right?
in a Ghostbusters movie being frozen.
Right.
But like I said, we're going to be breaking down a lot of the stuff dealing with movies towards the end half of the show, because we did cover already our top 10. We have individual reviews for all of the stuff that we saw that were really big highlights. But what we wanted to discuss here is really just our recap in a lot of the stuff that you experience when you're there at South by, a lot of the activations, because a lot of people, especially from depending who they hear it from, will see South by as just a movie festival. Maybe they do music, but they do so many different things. Zach got to check out the like education exhibit thing that they do, where there's a bunch of expos and booths. We got to do a lot of activations as well, and picked up a lot of stuff. And I think that's where we want to start off with. If there was anything that y'all picked up that y'all brought back, since we're from around the way, that was worth it. I'm gonna start. Since I did not expect whole Durango stuff happening over here, the moment I saw this bad boy at the Fallout exhibit, I think it was the first activation that we did. Bruh, I'm the part from Mexico that we're from. This is like a big deal. That's why when I got the South by, you remember the jacket?
Yeah.
Looking in the back. That's why I rocked that bad boy. So that was one of the first pickups that I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
As well as these merch, I guess. Technically, it's currency.
Yep, the bottle caps
that we can't use anywhere. I was looking at the footage.
I thought you could. I thought you could trade them in for things online.
Yeah,
I
the
think
Jones
we're done.
Soda Company thing.
But where am I going to get more? I don't have enough. I got like
that's what I thought we were going to have a good one.
Sell them,
and then they took them all from me. I didn't think he was going to take them from me.
He did. Yeah, he screwed you over.
I can't grab it, but fuck,
we got some stories because he's got footage of you talking to the guy. It's beautiful.
Sick.
We're going to bring that up for the activations, but it was some interesting stuff. I gave my coffee away. I don't know if you got to try your coffee.
You gave it away?
To family.
Oh. But still, you would thought
that I like.
Because I'm like, I'm out here bartering my bottle caps with this man. Should have held some behind. I didn't think he was actually going to take them all. And then he did. I guess I should expect that in the wasteland.
Right?
Did you get to brew something?
Not yet. It's it's there, but I'm excited. It's funny. I wanted the other flavor the most, the last flavor that neither of us got, but I got the second most one that I would want, like the chocolate something.
That's fair.
You got the apple one.
Yeah, it was already ground.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, makes it rough.
Hey, I'll take it. We had to act for it, which
we did. We did act for it. I had to like stalk this man around.
Right? It's really funny. Some good stories there. I see Zach's got another Fallout thing.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing from the Fallout activation was the bandanas they were giving away.
Yeah, I got the same one that Art got.
They're the cleanest things that they had there.
Those were nice. Because
we collect a lot of bandanas throughout. So
we love bandanas.
We love bandanas, especially because you're sweating up a storm. This was like the one that they were giving out at whatever. Zach's got another one right there. Is that the Siete one?
Yeah, I've got the Siete one. Shit, it's not next to me.
Yeah, I got it.
There we go.
What is that, bro?
Fallout.
Oh, that was the orange one.
Yeah, it was the orange one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We should have just gone back around and grabbed more. I was just happy with the one I got.
Yeah. And at that point, you got that one?
I really like this blue one. I just like the colors on it.
The blue one's really cool. It's like the other ones have more of the like Western bandana feel, and that has just more of the like Fallout feel, which is, and it's like good vibes, great colors.
But also the texture for these. Did you put it on Penny?
Well, not yet, but she looks really cute with the bandana, so that's where this one is going to end up.
Yeah, look, I'm not big on putting clothing on pets, but dogs rock bandanas.
Yeah, bandana, that's fine. That's a fine
thing. But yeah, no, that was some cool stuff to get from there. Some of the other things, one of the things that we picked up while we were walking around that I thought was really cool. You get a bunch of posters when you go to these
activations,
and even the movies where you don't have to be pressed. They're just giving you things like when we were talking about the Fallout one, they gave you those the pins.
Yeah,
like
the
a
pins.
really big deal.
Yeah,
that I know
because you're
people
from
like to
Vault
collect.
33. You have to identify yourself as Vault 33.
So if you go to South by, like, you have access to all this stuff too. You just got to be in that right line to snatch it up. And sometimes they'll keep things all around everywhere. Some straggler things that we end up finding, like on Box Office, like, I don't know, what would you call it, where they have like just posters hanging out.
Yeah.
I thought this was one of the coolest.
The Bechtel, the Bechtel test. That was cool.
I snatched one up for all of the Intercutie females that we had. I wanted to make sure that they got one, and then the boys had to bring one back too.
Yeah, of
this
course.
is funny. It was a limited edition one for International Women's Day. Which
I think they had them at the Alamo Draft House.
Yeah, I was at Alamo. Yeah.
As LeBron James celebrates it annually, we shall celebrate it annually too with this Bechtel test. I took a picture and everything because they're really well made. But another one that I picked up, probably my favorite poster. I know y'all have posters to showcase as well, but nothing is more innovative than this freaking Make Me a Pizza short film. Little poster being put on Costco red pepper. This is what things are made of. Like,
indie.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's indie promotion right there.
I like that. I'm afraid to use it, but I was down some red pepper the other day. Anything else y'all have?
Yeah, I mean, I can show you this set of posters that I brought back because I thought some of them were pretty cool. Amanda snagged us these Fall Guy posters because she was the only one who got into the movie there. But like, beautiful design. It's printed on paper too, so like
cardstock. It's
you
nice.
can see how easily I'm holding it up. It's pretty nice.
Nice.
That's probably the coolest design there. But when we were at that Fallout activation, they also had this one, and it was actually, I believe,
signed.
Signed by the artist. Signed by the artist
for whatever reason.
Bottom corner, right? It's very faint.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his pen was already Sharpie was already.
His pen was fading. Yeah.
Yeah, but signed by the artist who designed it, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then our opening night movie even gave us a poster, Roadhouse.
Which,
pretty cool design. Maybe cooler than the movie. I don't know, but
it is cool.
It
looks nice in your background.
Yeah, it's a good vibe.
I got all of them in the background.
Neon.
Yeah, we'll see how long they stay up there, but
they tend to.
There's coffee. Yeah, we can tell the story later, but I just want to show off the coffee a little bit.
The story ended up being the best thing that my brother ended up liking. He actually fell in love with the Fallout idea. I'm like, damn, boy, I know you were an actor, but
an actor.
What do you think? Does it smell good?
I haven't even opened this one yet.
Because I took a
you can do
of the beans.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Because I like this brand. I do like this brand. This is by Bones Coffee. And I've been into them for a while. I think they stopped making it, which is a fucking bummer. But they have an eggnog coffee, which is so good. I like making eggnog lattes with it in the winter. And it's good, but you can get it like ground, not ground. They have like K-cups. They've got like all sorts of options. So cool company. And it's cool to see them doing some collaborations.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to steal a cup from my sister who I gave it to. One of the other big things would have been besides posters. Stickers.
Yeah, the
Civil War had a really big one where they were giving out these toy soldiers, which I believe you guys said they may be doing in like actual models.
I can't imagine them not doing it.
But they split it between some silver ones and some white ones. And an A24 movie's gonna have the boys out there. And there was like a group of 4 boys who went up there and could only get one, but it's a nice package. So they were sharing stickers like it was recess.
And it's like, I'm glad you guys managed to get me an actual set because I was at the IMAX premiere where they didn't have swag.
As soon as we came out, and that's the beauty of like going with a group. Amanda got the Fall Guy posters for the group. I walked out there, I saw there was A24. Like a soldier, I went back to make sure we had one for you as well. It really helps when you tackle the festival with multiple points.
Yeah. Especially one like this.
I think I picked you up a pair of the aerosol spritz sunglasses that were available.
Yes.
Yeah. They, like literally, as we started raiding that table, they just shoved everything back in a box, and we were like, "Fuck us, then."
Yeah, bro. Because they had like you gave me a suntan lotion. You gave me like it was lip balm. It was
that was from the Bum Bum place. Yeah.
Fanny pack.
Which speaking of fanny pack,
2 different kinds of sunglasses. Aerosol spritz in orange and Campari in red. So match my different outfits.
There you
go. I got my orange.
The summer I'm going.
I'll do this
Can't
for the
make
rest
the
of
spritz
the
without the Campari, but the fanny pack. This is the one thing. We waited. So basically, day one, I just kind of catch this thing on the little description box, and I was like, "Oh my god, do you have that?" And they're like, "No, they haven't come in yet. So sorry." I'm like, "That's fine. It's day one. We were going back every single day, and they kept being like, "They're not in. We don't know if they're coming in." And then like one day I was like, okay, well, they don't show up. Are you going to put them on the website? And they're like, yeah, we'll end up there. And I was like, cool. And then just by
They
chance,
reprinted the merch though, remember? They
yeah.
reprinted the catalog to not include it.
Yeah,
like,
they had
we lost
reprinted
hope.
it was just gone. It was gone. And then we're just in the registrants lounge while everybody else is waiting in line for Civil War. So the Thursday before the whole festival's done, and I just happened to catch this like hanging.
Yep.
And I was like, is that it? And it was
It like
and
listened to us too.
It did.
We were like
And
across, we were like,
so
look
nice.
at that.
Like the corduroy, the double zip. I had this on my flight home. This was so useful. Like I got all my my little charger, my little thing to hold on my iPad, my gum. Like it was great. And it's like it's so easy just to flip on and like they don't see it. They don't see it as an extra bag. It's great. I love it. It's so cute and good. Very nice.
It was worth it after keeping an eye out for it. We had lost hope, but I had gotten this hat that I really liked.
Yeah, and we're like, I think
color, but kind of the same texture.
Yeah,
well.
I thought
the corduroy kind of material or whatever.
Corduroy, yeah. I got to make one of these darker or lighter to really make.
I was gonna say weird. I did think they were gonna be identical.
It's
so
a little off, yeah.
It's cool. I like it. I like them both. They're good.
I did get a hole already in mine though.
How?
Ooh.
I was overdoing it, I guess. I was overwearing it, overstuffing it.
Was it your fault or was it the bag's fault?
I'm gonna blame it on the bag,
is
obviously.
Is it a fixable hole? Is it like in the stitching or is it actually just a hole?
Yeah, I have a beautiful seamstress who has done that for my other clothing, and I know she'll take care of me soon. But I didn't drop anything. At least I don't think I'm missing anything.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're fine. You're fine. It's a little hole. It's just a little guy.
Yeah. It's it was pretty decent. Any other things?
Yeah, there was I tried to grab one of these for everyone, but they were basically down to like the last handful. This is like a fake tabloid for the Idea of You, which I thought was a really nice touch, and it has like quizzes on the back.
Such a big role in that film, so it's kind of like a prop from the movie almost.
Yeah,
which we praised for being so lived in.
That movie. The movie had all the goods. We had these posters all around town that make you think that the band was actually real, but it wasn't. And then at the after party, they were doing these records, which are super cool. I chose to go with Leo themed colors because I definitely had this commission for myself, and it definitely wasn't for Kate. It's for me. But it's really cool that they were doing these like paint splatter things on a spinner. And then we're that level of extra. We got napkins. They had branded napkins, and we were like, we gotta, because they were
had
nice.
Quotes from the movie. Yeah,
they had quotes from the movie. Once a moonhead, always a moonhead. Don't be stupid, which is a great quote. Banger. And then I want to get closer to you. Just good stuff. And then like they even had like mirrors that were frosted there that just like I just fell in love with the idea of you. I guess I just like the idea of you like all throughout. So they were giving out the goods, including, which I don't have right next to me, but I think you guys do, the backstage pass. The backstage
there we go.
pass.
Yeah, they went all out in the swag promotion, the after party stuff for this movie. I also ended up getting one of those vinyls, although mine is a lot less pretty than yours. She told me like less is more in terms of the color.
She said,
right? So I listened to her and barely put any on here.
She was wrong. Maybe she meant like individual colors. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sorry. That
yours is a little nicer than mine.
My Leo energy. Well, what's your astrological
Gemini?
sign?
I don't know what Gemini's colors are.
What Gemini? What are Gemini colors?
June 10th, maybe.
What are you?
They July 29th. They are blue and green. They are blue and green.
Hey,
you did it.
They were calling to me.
They were calling to you.
Yeah.
Oh.
What are Taurus colors?
Well, there's like yellow and I guess too, but what are Taurus colors?
Yeah.
Fucking hellfire red. No, you're fine.
Hell yeah.
Taurus
get it, brother.
colors. Taurus colors. It doesn't even want to show me. I assume like
I lost black.
Lucky colors are, I guess, green. Green is calming.
Sick.
There you go. I guess there you go. Either way, we're good. Themed. Did
Some
you
of the other stuff. Which one? But mine was so terrible. Again, I also gave it to my sister. She was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I was like, "You can have it."
Dude, I lucked out. It was mine, and I told her to do it. It was mine, and I just, I grabbed it at the end of the night, and I was like, "Wow, So nice.
You woke up for the Express. You had yours ready at 9 a.m. We had talked about this
Oh,
also in the
yeah.
other streams because Amanda had this one in her top 10 that's coming out as well. But they were giving out those shirts, some really nice designs that they were doing for a very clever movie that deals with music. That one of the things that we really enjoyed, and I hope you have your thing on you. They were giving patches out that you can bring
Oh,
any of the stuff
shit.
that you have. So that's like another way
No.
to do South by is
Yeah.
that if you have stuff around you like merch, they'll do these pop-ups where you can get other South by looking
Yeah.
logos.
So I got like the boots with the 2024 logo on it.
The one you got was nice.
It was good for like the occasion. That was perfect for that shirt. Mine was
Yeah.
great for my jean jacket, you know? Yeah.
And your jacket was the one that you had gotten last year that you
Last
got
year.
your own logo.
Yeah.
Your
My mostly okay logo on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Can't
don't know if
beat
we
it.
got anything quite as cool as a jean jacket this year,
I'm
but
kind of
No, the
bummed they
jean
didn't do it
jacket was
again.
kind
I'm
of
kind of bummed they
baller.
didn't do it again.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's because we were getting, Prime said you guys need Scorpion lollies.
Art, do you have any more of the shirts? I don't have my shirts with me, but I always like that South by does the T-shirt that has the lineup on the back of it with every movie that's in the
Yeah.
festival. It's
I
like
don't
those.
have that one handy because I assumed he would, but I do have
Yeah.
the matching swim set. So this comes with
Yeah, with the matching bottoms. I don't know if you have those
matching
too,
swim
but
trunks. No, I don't know where they went. I think they're probably in the laundry, but yeah.
I'll make a killer
Dope.
beach outfit.
Yeah, full beach outfit.
I got this South by long sleeve, the
I-
last one that I bought because I
I was
kept
gonna
seeing people
say,
with it.
it was so good. I wish I had gotten that one. It looks so
I-
nice.
I didn't want to have FOMO, right?
Yeah.
I collected more bottle caps and I went up to the merch store. I said, I need this. It's got to be my last one. I
they're
saw
like-
a lot of volunteers with this one. And I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, it looks good. But if you keep wearing it, it's because it's very comfortable. This is the most
Yep.
comfortable shirt, bro.
I believe
It's
it.
so good.
It looks
And,
so nice.
The one Zach talked about, I don't have it on me. I think it's upstairs. But you were displaying it in our review, so you could see it in the
True.
back. I love the music angle of it, that they're making it feel like a festival,
Mhm.
like concert shirt where you get to see the stuff that's on there. So they did that last year. They did it this year, and this year's shirt was even better. But overall, I thought they had a lot of really cool stuff. Just the last things I'm wrapping up here would be the last things that we got from 2 horror movies. This one being the zine, whatever you want to call it. It's cute
Zine.
for what it is, you know. It's presented by Neon. A24 has done these. She's obviously worked with A24.
Hunter Schafer.
Hunter Schafer. And kind of knew how to do something artistic. A lot of behind the scenes pictures in here. It's a neat thing to have.
It was neat. I just remember when I walked out, I thought I heard the word koozie. They have koozies outside, so I was like running, and I was like, oh, and then it was a zine, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's still cool, but like,
I don't know how much.
koozie.
I don't know how much input she actually had in it. She says it like she designed it. Like there is like a big letter from Hunter about the movie
cool.
right in there. So
Nice.
Decent.
Yeah.
Reminded me of like that Dune art book where like they photographed and then there was like excerpts to it. But I thought it was a nice addition to it. I thought it worked
it's
pretty well. And the last thing we got, Amanda did not get to do it because she was the Holy Spirit was looking out for her. But Zach and I decided to go do the first Omen experience, which
Yeah,
wasn't
first
even
Omen
playing
experience.
there, but with I think
No.
Paramount, Universal, whoever
Yeah,
it is,
Paramount.
having a big push. They had these like just nuns wearing Nikes walking around telling you to come into this little thing. And the only reason we did it, I think Alina's got it. She can hand it to me. The first Omen photograph. Alina, she's possessed. I don't know what's happening. Give me 1 second. Zach, I don't know if
I
you
can
still
play
have
the
yours.
footage from it too.
Oh,
Because
God.
Even better.
And there's like 5 of these pop-ups, you know?
Yeah, they had a couple of them around, and I don't know if you've seen. They're starting to roll out the ads for the first Omen, but this part right here, where they put on the flashy red lights and try to scare you, they're using that footage in their advertising campaign. I don't know how scared you were during it. I did my best to just like clench and hold myself together so I wouldn't end up being in a video unintentionally.
I mean, they made us sign everything, bro. We signed
Yeah.
waivers. We signed the Mark of the Beast. I don't know what they had to sign. The funniest part of it is that, like right there, you can see the people on the outside prepping to scare you. And that just takes it all away.
Yeah, a little
The
bit.
main reason we did it was because they do take a picture while you're in there. And that was the only thing I wanted to pick up. I'm like, I always like being able to pick up, like an actual like photograph to be able to take back. Call it the devil, but both Zach and I did not make it into our pictures. It's just our ears.
Just
That's so fucking weird.
our significant others and like a part of our body. Oh wait,
Only
I think
the ones who can take the first Omen. Only the immaculate ones.
You'd have no idea I was there if I
Twice?
wasn't wearing such a flowery
Oh,
outfit.
yeah.
Oh, some fishy's happening there. But yeah, that's most of the stuff that I have here in terms of the stuff that we collected. I wish I brought leftovers for food, but
Right.
those are wrapped
That
up before we
food.
even left. Zach,
Yeah, nothing
Amanda,
quite like
Ooh.
the candy or the
Oh,
cheese grater we
Grater.
got last year.
last year.
yeah.
Pretty sick.
You know, I'm okay with that.
But that's a big wrap up for a lot of the pickups that we had. I also have some koozies somewhere, a couple other shirts.
Yeah.
But
That's
this
the
is
thing
where
we
we
talked
stand
about
over.
with South by, right? Like, leave extra room in your luggage when you go there because
Mhm.
you're gonna end up with.
I like Caitlin who said,
stuff.
should I bring a tumbler or am I going to come back with 32 tumblers?
Exactly, right? Like, even just dumb Hulu branded popcorn buckets that I stuck
That
in
they
my
were giving out,
luggage
yeah.
for
Oh
some
man, I
reason.
should
Yeah,
have grabbed one of those. That stuff's fun, you know? That
yeah,
stuff's fun.
it's the
Wait, wait, wait,
memories.
wait. I got you.
Yeah.
How about the Franklin's box?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't
If
know
it
if I
still
could take
smelled
that
like
on the
brisket.
plane, but
That would be funny. You walking in with the box, which
right.
that'll be
Full
the
of
next segment
barbecue?
right here. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. We have all of the movies, or sorry, no, I'm over here talking about movies. All of the food. I'm calling it
Yeah.
South by Southwest Plus. You think we're going in there for movies, but when I tell you that we're going in there for some of the barbecue.
Let's go. Let's
Zach
go.
made sure this year that we woke up at 10:30 in the morning to go eat like the heaviest possible food. But the thing with Franklin's, for those of you who don't know, 11 o'clock is when it opens and people are in line since 9 in the morning.
Yep.
It takes 2 hours to get your food. And if you're 10 minutes late from that 9 o'clock spot, after waiting 2 hours, you'll see them cross out the item that you wanted. Amanda got to feel that with the turkey. She didn't even see the market. She looked up, it was gone at another barbecue spot.
No, yeah,
That is the
Galaxy.
Texas way. There is no express passes for a lot of these things until Zach found it. There was a way to pre-order, pick it up at 10:30. We drove in. Zach saw the line. It was packed as could be, but we did it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Franklin's is known for those like 3-hour lines or whatever that start like 5 a.m. before they're even open. We don't have time for that when we're watching movies at South by Southwest. We have to make some arrangements, call in some favors, go on the website and hit the pre-order button.
As I do a little flip-orama here, I'm of the belief that when you took that bite, you saw God.
I mean, as close as I'm ever going to come to it, I guess. It's real good. You know, they say that the Texas barbecue is better, but I don't know if you can really understand it until you have a mouth-watering piece of brisket just fall apart without chewing. It is pretty.
There was
pretty
PETA
incredible.
members in that line. That's how good it was.
For me, it was the chopped brisket. That's
crazy good.
That was the good goods, you know. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, it might be my favorite of the barbecue places that we've tried in Texas. We've tried a bunch.
So.
But the Franklin's was really, really good. The brisket, and not just the meats. You were telling me that you were a convert to potato salad because of Franklin's. And that's the best potato salad I've ever had.
Thank you.
Just
no reason.
Rich,
I almost got it over here.
So
you can
much
see the potato salad in the back.
Feel it in your nose.
Right there. Those two right there.
Give it
those
back.
two
I
towers
want it.
of deliciousness. Just some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff, dude. I'm glad we had it because it was probably my top thing. Secondary, I have a place that I had on my radar for a little bit, and Zach was the one who told me, dude, you realize this is a big deal. They don't have this restaurant anywhere else in America. You'd have to go to Canada. It's a place called Meat and Bread. And that's it. It's just meat and bread. I got this chicken parmesan, the most incredible sandwich you can get. Zach got a pork belly. Alina got the buffalo one, which is actually what I'm showing.
Yeah, I got the what was it? The barbacoa? Or
no, it was like some kind of pork belly thing.
It was some kind of no, it was porchetta. That's what it was.
That's the one, yeah, porchetta.
Yeah,
What's
porchetta? It's pork.
Oh,
pork shoulder. I want to say. I could be wrong. I'm showing now Caitlin's grilled cheese with tomato soup. Also, just
crazy,
luxurious, delectable, amazing.
It was Mirjani got to hit this up during one of the days we were doing concert stuff, and he pulled over. He goes, "Have you guys heard of Meat and Bread?" It's insane. We made the trek over there. There was an Intelligentsia there, my hometown coffee spot, and yeah, if it wasn't for Franklin's, this would have been number one. But I got it at number 2. The third one that I have is going to be this 6th Street Pizza. Zach gave me the name for it.
Rapolos.
Rapolos.
Rapolos. I ventured and braved 6th Street twice for that.
Tell them.
Oh, it's good. I realized that both times, a little tipsy, but it was good. Little
It
spice
hits.
to the pepperoni.
Look, I can't
Good
recommend
size.
any place better than that at 1:30 in the morning in
Oh,
Austin.
it's good.
hits.
It hits.
Don't
It's so good.
ever
Had it
go
twice.
down this street though at 6:30 in the morning.
No, it's not good. It's not good. I remember,
The
and then I
scene-
remember, and I'm like, this place is crazy. And then I remember last year, people got shot there.
People got shot. One of my early years, someone got ran over. So, like, it's not the best place to be.
It's
But
rough.
somehow, this was the most visited restaurant we went to.
It was so good. I
So-
love
Here,
it.
I got
It was
my
our fresh
video
market, no? Of
Right.
this year.
of this year, basically.
Like, I would have
Yeah.
gone more. There was a couple days where I was like, I'm kind of fixing for a pizza.
There we
Right.
go.
But it's
boy.
fine, you know?
You could pose with a little pizza
Ugh.
thing.
So good. I think I got pizza
I'm-
from somewhere else one day, and it was like kind of okay. And I was like, interesting. Oh, that's loud. That's loud.
That is
There we go.
really loud. Apologies for that. This is
And
my
that's
video
still a
from
quarter
6th
what it
Street
sounds like there. Yeah.
Just overrun with people and Amanda.
Oh, there's the
shooting herself.
jacket. That's the jacket Amanda has with the patch.
Yeah, he's right there. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
There we
trying
go,
to
that
like,
worked out.
yeah, the last time we went, it was raining and gross. And I was just on a mission to get this pizza as the last thing I do before I wake up in the morning to get on my flight. And
Right.
it worked, you
It's
know?
Saturday night. Literally,
Saturday
people are-
night.
They're celebrating St. Patty's Day early.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was
Right?
like, it's crazy.
It was a mess.
Like,
Yeah.
But
Oof,
overall,
hit.
I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, mine were Franklin's, Meat and Bread, and shout out Rapolos for being there
Mhm.
for us. I don't know if you guys had anything extra, coffees, maybe some other foods that y'all had.
Definitely going to be Rapolo's. Definitely going to be Franklin's. That was some real fine food. And I do feel like I had a oddly enough, Caroline's, the place that's like right next to the Paramount.
Yeah.
We went there for breakfast
yeah,
one
I remember you
guys
told
who got into Omni-Loop and we didn't.
Mhm.
It was so basic, but their breakfast tacos were so good. Like I feel like some people just don't put any like seasoning in it. It was so simple, but so damn
Yeah.
good. So damn
Nice.
good. So that was like a fun, fresh little standout for this year.
Yeah, it was very solid.
Mm-hmm.
From me, I think the single item that I might have liked the most, maybe it was that brisket, maybe it was that potato salad from Franklin's, but the Interstellar peach tea glazed pork belly.
Ooh, that was good.
They're
That
like
was
two of
good.
my weaknesses combined to join forces and kick my ass. It was quite good.
Yeah.
Not everything else hit as much for me at Interstellar, which
Yeah.
it was number 2 on the Texas Monthly rankings, but that really hit.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
still depressed we didn't get the turkey there.
The turkey. We're gonna have to go back for it, but
Yeah.
again, just a lot of really solid stuff. We had a lot of good beer there too.
Got to try
Caitlin-
Gus's. Cilantro was
You
pretty
got to try
solid.
Gus, dude. You got to try
Yeah.
Gus's twice because after we were possessed by the first Omen thing, I might have this over here. Randomly, we do the first Omen thing, and as soon as we walk out, turns out the Gus's is right across the street and is giving
Yeah, I
out
did have
free
Gus's.
chicken legs. Yeah, I'm
Damn.
trying to see if I have it here, but if I can pull it up, yeah, we just got to get free Gus's, so Zach got to try it twice. Smacked, huh?
Yeah,
It was
I mean,
good. It was good.
especially when you're like running between different movies and activations to be handed a free piece of fried chicken. It's pretty
Yeah.
dope.
You're either eating some of the best food you've ever had, or you're just not eating. Or you're just like the popcorn from the Paramount
Yeah.
with a margarita to make you forget that you're only eating popcorn and Reese's Pieces. They became a damn mission trying to find Reese's Pieces.
Yeah,
Which you did find.
Well,
It
okay.
took like 2 different convenience stores.
Yeah, 7-Elevens of all things that
And then
literally they
another
had
7-Eleven, yeah.
full displays. So basically, I got them at the Dune screening, and then Zach wanted them, and then I still wanted them, and then we were like, I'm like, how the hell does an entire 7-Eleven have? We have popcorn, we have Reese's popcorn, but we don't have Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, there's
pissed.
this 7-Eleven that had more Reese's items than I've ever seen in my life, and not a single piece to be found.
Except Pieces. Depressing.
That is funny though. It would go
The
that
tough life we live at South
Yeah.
by Southwest.
way. That would be the
Boo.
difficulty.
Too much free alcohol, not enough food.
Bro, even the like I got this beer
Actually.
like because
Got
Caitlin
some
and
good-
Caitlin's my beer
Nani?
buddy. We
Of course.
we go
yeah,
over there, we
Japanese.
try a bunch of the stuff. That violet one is one of my favorites. But you know that Texas knows beer. When their non-alcoholic stuff even is so good. This
Yeah,
Mexican lager they were
Mexican
giving out for
lager.
free. Smack, bro. I am not a person
yeah.
who drinks. That's like me drinking. I think I explained this. Coffee with no
You're
caffeine.
not?
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm the same
You
way.
gotta
Like,
really
what's the
like
point?
coffee, right?
What's
You
the
gotta
point?
really beer, but this was so good, man. I made myself think I was tipsy. It was delicious. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. They know what they're doing down there. We could talk about food all day, but let's move on to the best parties, the best music, a lot of the extra stuff that we were able to do. Because as I explained, Zach told me, "Yo, we got to use these passes to go see Tizo." I didn't know it was that easy. I'm rethinking every South by I've ever done. The music festival, South by trump everything else, in my opinion. We got to see some Tizo. I want to see if I could pull up some pictures for that. But one of the bigger ones was Peso Pluma, who I got to see.
And
And
this was
that line,
at the ACL, was it Austin City Live, which I thought was a pretty nice venue. I don't know if Austin residents consider that, but like nice seats overlooking the stage where I felt like every part of the building you had a decent view.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
We got to see Tizo there the first time from like head on. When Peso went, I tried to get him like from like a different angle on the side. I don't even know if this is pulling up fully, but there you go. So I'm never gonna be this close to this man again. Got to see him that close. Obviously a huge Mexican artist.
Oh, cool.
The lines were crazy. I'm trying to pull up this video here.
Yeah, you guys were in line for
Tizo,
like 7 hours for that.
I think I got a line at 5. The good thing about it was while he doesn't perform, look at that. That line was crazy. I don't even know if it's playing because it gets a little glitch.
It's not. There we go.
All right, there we go. Let me start from here.
Damn.
We
Yeah, 'cause-
technically had much better access than this, but I didn't know because I saw this line going around the corner. I was like, I gotta get in here. Luckily, they start performing at 7. They have a bunch of other artists that come in, Young Miko, a bunch of people who are also like worthy seeing alone. Combining them all, take advantage of those passes if you can. That's all I gotta say.
And
Really
that's the
good
thing.
stuff.
Like, lest you think that we're talking about our press passes, this is just anybody with a film and TV badge can get into those music stuff too. It's not about being press. Even if you don't have a press pass, you can get in. You're just in line with all of those people.
Thank you. Because that's what that was. Yeah. So it's like it allows a lot of access. It just depends on like you getting that schedule down pat. We always say South by is different from Sundance because you have to buy a whole pass. Damn, did we finally realize how to make it worth that price. So yeah, so some good stuff there when it comes to music. But y'all were at those parties. Tell me.
Yeah. So this was a weird year. Normally we don't care or to like prioritize any of that stuff unless it just like falls upon us. But we had such a hard time getting into the movies this year on the pass that I was just sending out desperate emails. And then Zach started sending out desperate emails. And we kind of like lucked out on either getting into some movies or at least getting like the consolation prize of getting the party tickets. So the Monkey Man one was kind of cool that it had a pre-party that was just open for everyone, which did make it a shit show. But then it had an after party, which we went to. And then I will say
there was also just because we have the footage up right now.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
these kind of awesome photo booths that sort of was like the advertising of the movie. Gave me a fun clip for social.
Yeah, those are
and
so
there you
fun,
go.
Yeah.
The best angle.
The pulley
I
guy.
thought it was like an elevator. The moment they showed me the pulley guy, they're like, it's a little goofy. I'm like, no, that made it like 10 times better.
It's fun. It's cool.
The fact that he's got the motion, you know,
down. He's got it down. It's cool.
Yeah,
that ease in, ease out. I love it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, but also that nice spread of Indian food as well.
Yeah, the Indian dinner, free drinks.
We're trying our best to get meals in at this festival, but it's pretty go. So when they have a spread available for you at a party before the movie, it's always appreciated.
It's nice. Yeah. So that was great. I think the only one I went to, no, I guess I went to 2 that you guys didn't go to. I went to the Y2K one, the pre one, which was great. Because for many reasons, but that one was fun. There was like free drinks. I got to I met Jesse Eisenberg briefly. The cast of the entire movie, including Rachel Zegler. And I'm not rude. I wait until people are like walking by me, but like not clearly in a hurry to be going somewhere. And I just say, hey, I like you and blah, blah, blah. Good luck in the movie tonight. And then you go, but that's also where I met Lucas Gage and was able to tell him how much we all like Down Low. And he was like so stoked on that because like, he's like, oh man, no one liked it. And I was like, no, we loved it. We said like, if you didn't like Down Low, you weren't cool enough to be at the festival last year. So like he took a picture with me. I think that's his move, but I appreciate that. He's like, new enough famous that he probably still remembers what not being famous is like. So it's like cool for him to be like, can I take a picture with you?
He's still in that one bedroom.
He's still in that one bedroom, you know? So it was really cool. And I did end up getting that picture because someone just asked him for it. And he was like, yeah, here you go. So yeah.
There you go.
There we
we'll
go.
put that in our top 10 video as well.
Yeah,
but
hell yeah.
Fun picture with Lucas Gage at the parties.
Oh, he looks cool.
Yeah.
Look at that jacket.
Yeah, it was a good jacket. It was a good jacket. He was,
That's nice.
you know, dapper boy because he was in the Roadhouse, so he was there for that and just kind of like going through some of the parties. So that one was really fun.
Well, I got to ask you, did you have more fun at the Y2K party or at the Fall Guy party?
It's the Fall Guy party. You can see the Y2K party was really good because I really needed it that particular night. But the Fall Guy party was also super fun because I love karaoke. So when Zach said, Amanda, there's karaoke, I was like, whoa.
Not just karaoke.
Karaoke with the cast of the movie.
And with a live band.
Live band is insane, dude. I really thought y'all had a DJ booth.
Okay,
that's
the only
crazy.
thing that sometimes sucks about live band karaoke.
Wait, what the heck? What the heck?
Yeah, I do my own stunts.
Yeah, they had the photo booth for Fall Guy there too. And that was pretty, get you
it was
in
both
the
Universal.
movie,
yeah, both Universal.
Like Batman in the Flash.
Yeah, exactly. So it was it was very fun. Live band karaoke can sometimes be a problem if the band decides they want to play in a different key than the song actually is, which I've had happen at like punk rock karaoke's are usually always ones I go to that are live band. Thankfully, no, this was a very tight band. I think the only time they really fucked up was sadly during Marjani's song. Like the drummer kept going off on the wrong tangent for Hey Ya, but it was cool. And yeah, that's just me being an idiot. Just
singing for the Daniels, which was pretty cool.
I mean, the Daniels.
Look, I've been a longtime fan of the Daniels, and twice Daniel Kwan walked like directly at me within 5 feet, and I felt my entire body freeze up.
I know.
It's just kind of cool to be like in these places, like rubbing shoulders with celebrities in that way.
Yeah,
when they make the musical,
and like not being weird about
who to
it.
Call.
Yeah, please call me. Yeah, no, so it's cool. So I'm like singing Backstreet Boys and I look over and like Daniel Kwan is singing it back at me.
There you
and
go.
that's cool. That's cool. It's like, we're not weird. Like we're not going to harass people, but it is nice to see people that you see in movies, especially like the directors. Cause it's like, you make stuff that like is really cool and changes people's lives. Like that's awesome. So yeah, no.
This party was also a bit funny because there was kind of like a more reserved private area, which I'm showing on the screen right now, just below or just above the karaoke. So that's where Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt and Winston Duke were all hanging out. So they just can look from above.
Yeah, they were
looking Amanda performing karaoke.
Yeah, they were looking down a fair amount at different points. That was the only thing that was kind of a bummer about those parties. But I did find that at least for that one, because some of them wanted to sing karaoke, they would come down more. So like I think after you left, like the director came down to sing and a couple of the actors came down to sing because you want to sing karaoke, you get in there versus like the Idea View one and then the Y2K one where it's just like free mingling.
A little different, right?
What is your question?
Why wasn't this the thumbnail?
We'll switch it after.
That's sick, bro. What?
LaShawn wants to know what you sang.
I sang Everybody by the Backstreet Boys because it's just claims. Yeah, because that's just with karaoke. My aim is usually I want an easy crowd pleaser that I can actually sing so that I can make it sound at least okay. But then everybody's gonna have a fun time even if you're not singing it okay. And then my second song, I was trying to do Nickelback because I'm Canadian and it would have been fun, but then someone else snagged it from me, so I switched over to Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Classic.
This is how you remind me. I think Brightside's better, but this is how you remind me because that was the only Nickelback song they had. But I was like, Killers, easy win, re-hyped everyone like right before the end of the night. So I was like, I did my job. I did my part.
They said Amanda sang it mostly okay.
I think I sang it pretty decent. A little bit better than mostly okay. I'm only ever mostly okay, but the singing was at least somewhat decent.
No, I'll back you up. You rocked the stage. That was a good performance.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We also got a question from Wiley who asked pre/after parties only for press. Interestingly, the Monkey Man pre-party was for everybody. It was on the schedule. So anybody could have slid in.
Gotta keep an eye out.
And they did.
The after parties, as far as I can tell, are only press, and they're not even just press. It's kind of invite only.
It's invite only. It's not necessarily press. It's invite only. So it's less of that because like press can't just walk up and be like, "I'm press" and come in. They have to have the ticket. And there's people at the Monkey Man one that were like, they're like arms filled with bands. Like, yeah, I come every year. So I'm like, okay, you're just getting the invite because you're here every year.
Yeah.
And you must spend a lot of money or something. But because
it pays to make friends with people and just find out what access they got.
Yeah, what access they got, and sometimes they'll Google you and think that means you get a party pass. So there we go. That's what we found out the Universal guy did. You got in?
Yeah.
Interesting behind the scenes.
Do you regret going to Tizo Touchdown, or do you wish you sang karaoke with us?
My man, look at Tizo was so sexy, bro. I love. I know the chat loved Tizo like that too. Shout out the chat for having the good taste.
Yeah.
I love my boy Tizo.
I tried to do my best to do a bit of both, so I got the end
Zach
of the
Zach thought he was Dr. Manhattan. This man was going 3 different places at once.
He nailed it.
He did it. No, he got all of it. He came back right in time for the Tizo song we wanted to listen to. But I got my fill with that last one with the party. The last one. I've always never really been the after party ones, but they twisted my.
That one was like the most crowded. I would say like the Y2K one was the most chill, and like it was quite fun. It was nice. It was very chill, but it was solid. This one was the most extravagant because they literally turned this entire place into that movie. And once everybody realized the celebrities were upstairs, that's where everybody tried to flood.
Yeah, so that's another funny thing about this last one. This is some footage from the upstairs of the party where everybody went to.
That's Michael Showalter.
That's the director. That was the director.
We got up there after a lot of people cleared out, but the middle floor and the downstairs were almost empty. Everybody was trying to rub shoulders with Anne Hathaway.
Of course. And I did get to say hi to her, but like, again, when she was not talking to anybody, walking by, and then she told me that she was the reason why she was crying was because of the production designer, and that I should go tell her she did a good job. So I did. So then I was talking to her for a minute, and then she was like, "Oh, you writer? Who do you write for?" And I was like, "No, it's worse. I'm a YouTuber." But then she was like, "Oh my God, my son wants to be a YouTuber." So it won't go anywhere, but at least I didn't come across like quite as much of an asshole as I could have when you're like, "Yeah, I'm a YouTuber," because that can mean so many things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it was pretty good because you also were able to talk to a lot of press people to get some insights in how they run things and such. And I thought that was pretty cool. On top of that, like it is a party. Like they had a DJ there. The drinks is what y'all kept telling me. Like, yo, they got themed food. They got all these stuff.
Themed food. Yeah, it is. It's fun to see.
Now I get why press doesn't get paid for their articles because they're getting paid another way. Like, there's a bit that they say at South by. The go-to line is, if you paid for any alcohol or food, you didn't do South by right. That is all on their dime. Everything that they're doing there. Like, again, maybe if you have a pass, you get in there quicker. But anyone who's in Austin can take advantage of that. I thought we had a good time at that one. And then just all around getting into the movies and the other stuff that we were able to do. Did you have a preference? I know, what's it called? Fall Guy was your number one movie.
Yeah.
Also your number one experience?
That was definitely up there. So I would say, like, in terms of the party experiences, it would probably be Fall Guy or the Y2K one. Like I said, the beginning of the fest was a little rough for me. So that second day party was very nice. But yeah, no, that one was really fun. It was necessary. And I did like the idea of you won like a fair amount just to kind of like, because we all got in. That was nice because we all finessed our way in. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. So we all had a good time.
Doing the wrong things the right way, baby.
Yeah, you know, it was good. And then we got pizza. It was great.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
It was a good night. It was a good final night too. That was the best part of it. But answering some of the questions, I know you had some stars, Zach, from the chat.
Just a shout out to Gray on the Water, who was volunteering at the Violet Crown, was hoping to run into us, but we were hoping to go to the Violet Crown too.
We were hoping to run into the Violet Crown. Yeah,
it just didn't work out.
Getting into movies. The reason why we only managed to get into a lot of these bigger ones was because the publishers took pity on me, being like, nothing's working. Can I have a ticket? And they'd be like, okay. But like for the smaller theaters, they're like, we don't have any. Like, we literally can't give you anything.
Like Amanda had said in our longer review, it was easier to get into after parties than it was to get into the movie. That's so confusing.
I had an easier time.
$15 old fashions. Get me into the movie. It's going to be cheaper for y'all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I had an easier time, like talking to an Oscar-winning actress and getting like free $20 drinks whenever I wanted them than just going into a movie that they like are trying to get picked up for distribution.
That we can help with.
We can help.
Because that's technically what they're doing in some capacity. But hey, I guess we'll take the drinks. Shout out Gray on the Water said that they got to meet Freddie Wong. That was a movie that we did miss. We wanted to catch that one I want to say it was playing at the Zach Theater. Wasn't
Yeah.
able to make time for it to be able to get there. I know Josh had also asked, how long are the after parties usually, to give some insights?
I think, well, no, how long were you at the after parties for? I think it was like weird. They'd usually go into like the movie was like basically once the movie was done. So essentially once the cast could get there and once the Q&A was done, they would let you in and then it would go until like 1 or 2 in the morning, usually depending on where it was.
We walked out of the Paramount and it took me a while to realize we looked like the East Atlantic Current. Everybody was walking straight
Yeah,
there.
that's exactly it.
They're probably 2, 3, maybe 4 hours.
Sometimes
max.
I would say the longest one was definitely the Fall Guy party because that just went until like they closed the place down. And then some of them were pre-parties. So all the ones for like A24, other than that Civil War one, were pre-parties. So it was basically like a couple hours before the movie. And then you would like leave and go over to, because like half the reason I even went to these is like to get the ticket you have to go to the party. They're like you can pick it up before the movie starts, but then I'm like, what if you start giving them away to other people? I don't want to rely on just grabbing it from you right before the movie, and I'm not going to say no to like some free alcohol and just seeing who's around, you know. But yeah, so yeah, I would say like anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours. Some of them I would stay like for most of the whole time of all of them, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
Ghostbird asked us, how does it rank among festivals? Art and I are frequenters of Sundance, now South by, I guess, and TIFF. Amanda, you've done Con a couple times. We have some other festivals sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
But how do y'all feel about South by compared to some of the other festivals that we go to?
If we're including just as the whole, what?
It's the best group one.
It's the best group one because there's so much you can do. If you're for the general public, especially, this is probably the best one. If you can afford the pass, it's going to give you the most access. I
still think TIFF is the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's true. TIFF is the best bang for your buck because if you buy the ticket, you have a ticket. It's not like you have a ticket for once everybody else goes in.
But like we're saying, in Austin, we didn't have tickets, and you were making it to after parties. You were making it to whatever. We can go eat barbecue. We can go do something from Austin, and I think that was worth it.
There's a lot you can do. So that one's really cool from the group perspective. If we're just talking like movies specifically, like last year, South by was amazing for movies. This year, a little bit weaker, at least because like we couldn't get into some of those smaller ones that end up like making our list at the end of the year, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with South by, and compared to the other festivals, you know, we are movie sickos. So we try to see 30, 40, maybe 50 movies at each one of these festivals. And that's just not how ordinary people live and act. If you are a movie sicko, you probably are better off going to a Sundance or a Con or a TIFF where there's more selection.
You can't go to Con.
Well, you can pay your way to
if you can do 3 days at Con if you're under the age of 28 and you have I think you have to have some kind of like connection or something, like not connection, but like no, like you have to be like a writer for your school. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can just be under 28 and you're good to go. That might be the case, but you still have to be under 28. Then you have to pay your way there. And then it's 3 days. Otherwise, the only way you can get in is if you're approved or you're in the industry.
How did you sign up?
As through my channel. I was over the age of 28 when I went to Con the first time, so I missed that. But I'd rather do the whole festival than 3 days.
Have you had difficulty in follow-up years?
No, I got in really easy last year. I haven't applied this year because I don't think I'm going to go. I'm a little burnt out. But yeah.
But yeah, even so, just like in terms of the movie selection, those are festivals, including Venice or Berlin, that are maybe a little bit more appealing to cinephilic people.
Yeah.
This is a festival where you can get some awesome movies. They tend to be more crowd pleasing, more horror or action or comedy based.
Genre based, yeah.
But if you're the kind of person who wants to go to a festival and see maybe 1-2 movies a day tops, this is a great one because you can then swing over to the comedy stuff, swing over to the XR stuff, catch a concert, just hang out in Austin and eat barbecue. You know, there's so much to do. So in that way, South by is uncomparable.
LaShawn had said Out of Respect was one of their favorite songs. He did not perform Out of Respect.
Damn.
disrespectful, but he did perform Third Coast, which I thought was fantastic. But going off of the comment that Zach just had, did y'all see any smaller films aside from Monkey? I saw Black Box Diaries, fantastic, one of our favorites out of Sundance. Smugglers, which we're about to
I've
cover.
seen Smugglers, but at different festivals.
Wakri, and We're All Gonna Die, also Malta, which we had mentioned. So I figured bring some stuff. Let's get into some of the straggler reviews for movies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are out there. I actually wanted to start with an interesting side of things with XR because I know Tribeca changed their name to no longer be the film festival, but they're welcoming XR and TV. XR is getting really interesting because you sit here and you enter this 3D world. It's still a feature. It's a feature that's not on a flat screen. You just get to live in it. And there were some pretty interesting ones. I'm going to try to boot some of this up here, but I know Zach also had a couple that he was able to try. A big one that I had on my radar was this one called The Tent that was inspired by a lot of the housing problems that are happening in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And the story is that someone builds a tent in someone's front yard and they have to figure out how they're going to kick them out. And I'm like, yo, this could be a movie, but just the approach to having it be an XR, a very interesting way to tell the story.
Very cool.
What did it allow you to do? Like, was it more interactive? Is it more just going through environments? How did they make it kind of like XR?
Sundance would have been one of the first places where I really got to test that stuff out where you're interacting with the story. So it's almost like when they say that the difference between a movie and Broadway is that the movie has a director tell you where to look. In Broadway, you get to pick. I mean, here you're literally 360. You get to interact with some of the stuff in the house. The story gets as expansive as you make it. And I think that that's pretty cool. So you're pretty much directing the story. That's how I've always seen XR and video games in general. So you're able to explore with certain things within here and investigate the tent. And I thought that was a pretty interesting approach to tell the story because it still is a narrative. There's a beginning, middle, and end. You can skip some parts, but it leaves it to you, which I think is pretty cool.
Nice.
I caught another one of the XR ones. I think we were simultaneously like next door to each other. And I saw The Imaginary Friend, which is somewhere between a short film and a game. You're sort of this little girl's imaginary friend, and you have to help her fight off like the things in her mind that are like coming for her, the scary things in her brain. And it's interesting because it ends up being this film about a young child coping with loss, but it's done through the means of like more traditional kind of like shooter. But the thing is like it's 360. So I find myself just sitting in my chair and spinning around. It's also very funny to be doing some of this stuff at like in a big convention hall, because this was also one that involved some vocal interaction. Like you had to say, "I'm your friend" at certain points. I know the publicist is like standing 10 feet away from me, and it just feels very self-conscious to shout certain things in a room when you can't see what's going on around you.
Yeah. Remember last year where they closed down and my goofy self was still in the middle of one?
Yeah.
I heard you guys around me like, is he done? And it turns out everybody was just waiting for me.
Well, I pulled off my headset and y'all were at the car already.
Yeah, we went to go pick up the car. We're like, we got to get out of here. Because how long was yours?
No, you were still in there.
That's
mine
the issue
was
with
over 30 minutes.
That's the issue with XR, right? Because you go and you sit and you watch a 90-minute movie or whatever else, but those are blocks. The XR thing, you're trying to figure out, can I fit in the schedule? Can I fit in here? Can I fit 30 minutes?
And they always say it's short. You walk up and like it takes no time at all, and suddenly it's like 45 minutes later and you're still going.
It's like, right, because again, it's how long you take with the story.
Yeah.
And they know it should be 30 minutes. That's why I think they don't have a market to release these other than through Steam and you having a MetaQuest. They had one for the Vision Pro. That got booked really quick because they had a different route that they did it this time around where you needed to arrive there at 11 to get put on the schedule or something like that. You never got to do the Vortex Cinema one, right? That was one that I have on my watch list.
I wanted
that one was really cool.
Yeah, we had a really nice chat with the guys who made it. They seemed very cool. Seemed like they had a very cool idea. Just couldn't fit that one into our schedules.
Yeah, sadly. One that Alina did do was this one called see if it loads up. Tadpole.
Oh, cute.
A very cute one. She it was her most anticipated and she said it lived up to it. So that was another one that I thought was pretty solid. or she thought was pretty solid. But overall, I hope the XR expands in a way that more people have access to it. The same way that we have streaming for movies, you're gonna need this for games because if people don't want to rent movies, they're not gonna rent XR stories like that.
Yeah.
I hope the market gets fixed. But
yeah, well, the tent one that you mentioned is available like as a phone app, which
yeah,
some of them make them a little more accessible than the ones that require that whole
right.
headset.
You don't need a headset for a lot of these. You do this on Google Maps, like it's the tech's out there. It's kind of embedded. But let's move on into some of the. Or did you have someone else?
I was just going to say, while we segue into our reviews, we got a super chat from Wiley who asked about the Fall Guy, and if we saw it, what we thought of the soundtrack since they had karaoke. He since it's a banger. Art and I couldn't get in. Amanda did though, and yeah, you said that some of the songs that were available for karaoke were in the movie.
Yeah, they were in the movie, so it was like pretty good. Like a couple standouts. Like I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, so there's like a whole moment with All Too Well that I was like, let's fucking go. What is saying that? But that is, unless you know everyone in that room is a Taylor Swift fan, you can't just start singing
10-minute version.
All Too Well. We've done that at karaoke here. We've done that. You know, you gotta have the audience. So I was like, I won't do it, but I want to. I'm that person. I'm a bitch. Yeah. So it was like some pretty good stuff. Like I think like Joan Jett was on it. There's like a cover of the like there's a Fall Guys show and there's like the theme song. There was a cover of the theme song, I'm pretty sure for it. The something. I'll find it. But yeah, no, it was like good. It wasn't like by and large like a mental banger where I'm remembering everything about it, but like it was good. It had some like fun needle drops, nothing that it over relied on though. But yeah, no, some fun stuff. But it's because the reason why there was karaoke is because there is a karaoke scene in the movie. So that's why they did karaoke.
Makes sense.
And it ended up being your number one movie. So but
it did. Of new movies I saw at the festival, it was my number one.
Sick. Let's talk about some of the other ones. I know Zach compiled the list for the audience award winners. Any big ones that we didn't cover? Because I know the audience award winner went to Monkey Man. That was your number one. Audience award winner went to Bob Trevino, which I know Amanda also had in her top 10. A couple of stragglers that we didn't get to hit up would have been Resonator. I'm glad Clemente won because that was my favorite doc. But we had talked about Oddity being one that we had missed, and that won the audience award for Midnighter. I wish we were there for that. Songs from the Hole was a documentary that sounds like it's going to have a run in 2024. People ended up really liking that one. And then just in terms of some other stuff, getting into the picks that we had over here, we had a slew of movies that were from the drama section that we ended up really liking. One of them coming from a director that we've enjoyed their work a lot. Let me see if I pull it up over here. The Black Sea. It comes from a duo filmmaking team. But Crystal Moselle, we've known from several things, including HBO series, because she had done Skate Kitchen, which then became, what was the name of the show? Betty, thank you. Wolfpack, I think, is an incredible documentary. And now it's like a pseudo doc. The Black Sea, I think Zach saw it. It's like a mix of the main actor, Derek B. Harden, who's also a co-writer, co-director, retelling his story of him being stuck in, where was it? Was it Malta? Or just near the Black Sea?
Yeah, I think it was Bulgaria or something like that.
Pretty much, they make a big emphasis, only black dude there. Like, people walk down the street to take a picture with him because he's like, they've never seen a black guy before.
Yeah. He's
got no money. He's got to find a way to get out of it. I thought this was like a really good character study of kind of like showcasing him reliving that moment that he spent there. It's a little rough around the edges at some points, but I thought that the way that they were able to like showcase him just trying to make it out of there worked pretty well. And I thought was a nice little honorable mention to have.
It's definitely a movie of moments. Like it's a vibe for a while and low key, but there are some moments that are just like really funny and feel very true. I told you when we watched it, it reminded me of like a Leon subplot on Curb Your Enthusiasm, just because he's so ridiculous and the way that he bounces off people is just so funny. And I think there's a similar dynamic, albeit more dramatic in its execution with the Black Sea. And Josh is affirming that it is in Bulgaria.
If you're a fan of the director's previous works or you know about this man's stories, definitely have that one on your radar because I think you'll like the approach that they took here. Another one that we got was a dramatic winner that actually did pick up an award. I think it picked up an audience award. We Were Dangerous. It comes from New Zealand, and it pretty much covers the school where they're considered delinquent girls who have run away, but really this system that they're trying to impose on them is what's creating them to be the, runaways that they want to become.
Yeah.
I thought I had some pretty solid performances. This was one of the late night ones that we ended up catching back at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And it reminded me a little bit of, do y'all remember Mayday from Sundance a couple years ago?
I do.
It got very fantastical and kind of lost the plot. This was a little bit more,
grounded one.
Thank you. And it was more in the Cameron Post section of things where they're looking out for each other while fighting with this institution.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very well-rounded one.
It's funny because it's obviously got that Australian setting, or is it New Zealand? New Zealand setting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a little bit of a quirky sense of humor, although it's more dramatic than I would say comedic. But I was thinking during the movie, like, somebody's going to be really lazy and call this like Taika Waititi's Miseducation of Cameron Post, and then Taika Waititi comes up as one of the producers in the credits.
I think the director had worked with him in the past on some stuff.
I just don't think anything happens in that whole country that he's not got his hands
a part
in.
of. Right? Yeah.
You go through
It's
the
just
Nightingale
Dawn.
stuff, and like there he is, even though that was Australia. It's like adjacent to
the film Dawn of Oceania.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was pretty solid. I'm looking forward to see what especially the actresses, because I thought they were giving pretty good performances in there, end up doing in the future. But We Were Dangerous out of New Zealand, one to keep on your radar.
Mm-hmm.
We then had talked about, someone had mentioned in the chat, the Smugglers movie that premiered. I don't want to say it premiered at TIFF. Was it a premiere there? Right? I don't know if it premiered there.
That might have been Cannes, actually. Hang on, but it might have been TIFF.
It's South Korea. I think it just showed in South Korea, but Canada, it's up there. TIFF is up there. I know that's where we missed it. We finally were able to catch it at South by. I think it's a pretty decent movie. It's the story about a family that gets caught doing smuggling out at sea. After years of them trying to keep things down low, they set up another heist that may be a heist within a heist within a heist.
Yeah.
Who's screwing who over? And I think it made for a really entertaining heist thriller. So if you're interested in this, definitely check this one out. I feel this is one of those that they'll want to remake in the future. And if
I can see that.
If they do it well,
people love heist movies. But yeah, it's weird. It says it released in July, but it was a special presentation at TIFF, so I feel like it must have probably had some kind of showing in Korea first.
North America is probably like a rollout.
And then TIFF. Then it did Locarno.
Yeah.
In Switzerland.
I don't know what their release schedule for this one is going to be, but I thought it was pretty solid. It definitely would kill on like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's going to get eaten up if they get it, but
I thought it was a pretty delightful one and isn't afraid to kind of get like messy since it's obviously dealing with some crimes.
Yeah.
Another one that we got was the Switch Up. I don't know if any of y'all got the chance to get this.
No.
The director seemed really nice, though.
The director seemed really nice. So we're going to be very nice for this next 3 sections, but we all have to have a bottom movie of the festival. And as you can see right there, this was a lot of people's bottom movie. And sadly, it's the story about this like a talk show guy who ends up getting caught in some legal issues, which causes all of his fame and stuff to go away. So he has to be in those charities that he used to do, like just for the photo op, and was faking it. Now he's actually there getting the charity work and getting the soup kitchen meals because he's got nothing anymore. So it's that rag to riches, not even rag to riches, riches to rags story where he's now trying to come back up. But I think it's the way that it's shot, performed, acted, directed. A lot of the movie, it's definitely more of a first timer type of movie, which wouldn't be bad maybe at another film festival. South by is one where you need something like Dead Mail, where it's like, yo, this is way lower budget than some of the big stuff in theaters, but that spunk makes it fit into the festival. This, not a South by movie to catch in a theater, sadly. But Zach also had one that he did not like from the festival. I missed it. I don't even have it here on the lineup, but it was the one I kept confusing with Hunting.
Yeah, this one's High Tide, which I think got on at least my radar partially because of the inclusion of Marissa Tomei and its cast. Tomei, always happy to see her.
It looks like some people liked it. Look at that spread. Is that real?
I mean,
that's a weird boost.
If it was a 5, I'd say it would be weird if it was a 5 because you see that sometimes. You're like, oh, it's pretty average. It was the same thing for Cuckoo and Immaculate.
A little more legit, but
you got like
it has to be a middle finger. You need to have a little to the left and to the right. The fact that there's nothing to the right.
This is like, excuse me.
AI generated.
You watched my movie?
I mean, look, I'm sure there are people who take more out of High Tide than I did. I think it's a pretty interesting attempt to kind of depict some of the nuances in queer dating, things that act as obstacles that are not the types of obstacles that like heterosexual people face in their relationships. And this is partially about a
Hey, you
person
privileged
who
fuck.
is
Sorry.
it's partially about a person who is sort of escaping his homophobic family life to sort of get immersed in the freedom of American gay culture. But I just found the depiction of a lot of this to be really melodramatic and kind of treacly. Like it just felt like they were taking what are the kinds of conversations that you would talk about very animatedly and expressively with friends, but made them super, super serious. And yeah, I don't know. It just there it almost becomes a little bit silly when you treat certain things with like a dead seriousness and can't kind of like leave a little for joy and humor in there. But again, like this might resonate with some people. I just felt like it didn't really only add up. And to get back to the Marissa Tomei part of it, would have liked to see a little more of her, but she's kind of barely in this one. So maybe I did it to myself, but false advertisement on my part.
Right, Amanda? What's the bottom of your list?
Ooh, bottom of my list. Oh God.
The AI South by intro.
It's up there. That was fun though. No, because that at least got good crowd engagement.
Was it
Oh my God.
Audrey or something we saw on
No, it's
screeners?
not.
Like,
I feel like I had one and it just like left my brain. Hang
we
on,
can
give me
circle
like
back to it because we got a couple questions that
yeah,
we can,
let's do the
get to
questions. Let
first.
me do it. Give me a couple seconds here.
Yeah, we got a super chat from Josh who asked whether or not Civil War was worth it in IMAX. That's one that Art and I saw on the regular screen. Amanda, you made it out to the IMAX screening on the big Bullock Museum Theater screen. How did it play on the big screen?
Really good, really good. I was definitely a little closer than I would have liked to be, but I couldn't pick my seat. But that's fine. I was in a fine spot for most people, I think. So yeah, it was good. It looked great. The sound was pretty intense, but that was at both. But yeah, I think it's worth it. Like if you have an IMAX theater near you, like I'd always justify going IMAX as long as it's like something that actually filmed for it.
April 8th, IMAX exclusive screenings a week before the movie comes out, presented by A24.
Well, there you heckin' go.
That's a good tip.
Just found that out last night, so I will be visiting an IMAX because, like Zach said, we got to see it in the Paramount. Beautiful theater, beautiful Dolby.
Yeah.
The sound is what I'm very interested in this movie because I need to hear that IMAX mixing because this man was damn near recording a war happening, and that last 25 minutes is nonstop adrenaline, and it is shot not the IMAX like full 1.9 or 1.43, but it's got that 2.0 I think, which is still pretty big. It fills up a good amount of the screen. So
it felt tall. It felt tall.
So I would recommend it too.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I have a bottom because I don't think I didn't get into enough of those small ones to have hit one of those. It's probably the Bon Jovi doc. Was that here or did we just have that on? Yeah, but it was that. That was not good. That's not a good. That's just
I didn't know y'all were Bon Jovi haters.
No, that's the thing. I don't even hate Bon Jovi. That just wasn't a good doc. That was just like it's always rough to make content like that when people are still alive. It's just it's too much dick sucking. I don't know. Probably that.
We got a comment from Ace Zach Reviews, who we ran into at the fest. He took a really nice picture of us, so thanks again for that.
Oh, is that Zach? Hey, thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah. Said, I feel like I have to thank y'all about the SXX Press Pass thing because I don't know if I would have gotten into Monkey Man and Fall Guy and more without knowing about it. You are welcome because you took our press pass.
You know what? I take that back, Zach. Screw you.
Yeah, I was literally like, man, none of us got anything for any of those. I literally only got into Fall Guy and Monkey Man because I'm literally like in the Universal guys email being like, please can I have a ticket? Positive he wasn't going to answer. I don't know what made him be like, oh, let's look up this person. We
told too many people about it, and everybody's on it now. And now we can't get the express pass, but it's all right. We're happy. We're not gatekeepers.
Yeah, I was going to say, at least I had the ability to fight. And honestly, if Art had been more he could have gotten shit too, but he was like, I'm just gonna go see Tizo.
I'm gonna go see Tizo. But no,
Yeah.
that's literally the point. I mean, when we, like I gave it to them, and then we give it to other people. Like that's the point. If you don't do that, I don't get it. I remember when I had shouted out GoFobo, like the thing I used for screeners, and some guy ripped me a new one in like 3 different DMs. How dare you? And I'm like, bro, come on,
It's
bro.
gonna die
Like,
if people don't know about it. Like you
that
could
too, but it's like, yeah, you
but,
gotta keep
like,
it up to it. I also think it wasn't even
gotta
so much
share.
about like the first come first serve as it was the system kept crashing. As Zach's
Oh,
saying
right,
right there as
yeah.
well. Yeah, the app crashed like 4 times for Fall
And that's
Guy.
on them.
That's
There's no reason
like,
why it shouldn't have been working, you know? Like
hey, but shout out, you know what the best part is? When Intercuties listen and they take advantage of it. Like that
Yeah.
shows that what we're doing matters. Like imagine recommending movies and then you all not watching them. Like that's the worst feeling in the world. The fact that y'all do is yeah, it's the best part.
Yeah, even Gray on the Water, who was the volunteer, says that the express passes were the worst for them. So,
like managing them as well.
Managing
Yeah.
them,
Oh, I feel like it was always really smooth where we were, but I guess like the Violet Crown is a very small theater. I could
right?
see that being a lot more of an issue if people decide they're going to show up like 10 minutes before the movie starts. But at that point, doesn't it say it doesn't guarantee you a seat after 15 minutes?
Got to start being stern with these slackers with their
Yeah, I was like,
once
because for Roadhouse, I was in that overage line and I got in like at 30 minutes before the movie started. Like they let you guys in early for that. And I was like, if anybody else decided they were coming in last minute, they might not make it in.
Yeah.
And that's on them.
Yeah. Ricky asked about tickets because he saw that the passes, I believe, cost like $2,000.
Yeah.
Look, if you are trying to go to South by Southwest, it's worth thinking about it like now. They have early
like
bird
an all-inclusive thing too, but it's also that like if you see a ticket that you want, no, you need 10 movies.
Yeah. So the thing with the tickets, just to let you know, is that it'll almost gets me every year. You can buy individual tickets for certain movies, but for certain movies, but you have to wait for the primary film, the secondary film, the platinum badges, the regular music passes, the film and TV wristbands, anybody who got publisher tickets to go in. And then if there's still room, you can make it in. So for like the really small stuff in small theaters, you're never making it in. And for the really big stuff that's super hype, you're never making it in. You are going to be existing in this weird nexus zone of like secondary screenings for stuff that's not super hype, or stuff that for whatever reason is in a big theater and shouldn't have been in a big theater.
Just get your refund immediately.
Yeah,
I
just
would
get the
never
refund.
try the ticket thing that they do there. It
Yeah.
it really is a pass festival.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to do a 2-week all-inclusive type thing that, as again, even we learned this year, includes a lot more activations, music, pop-ups, different things that I do think make it worth it. But that's why I say to approach South by, it's definitely a group type of festival where you got to be there for a while. Whereas TIFF, you can do more individual. So it is worth it though. It's a lot, but like Zach said, get it early.
Yeah, like right now, if you want to buy just a film and TV badge, it's $945. If you can imagine, $945. If you can imagine, it gets $1,000 more expensive if you wait until like a month before the festival. You got to plan ahead.
Bro.
Yeah, basically once they start announcing movies, it's over. Once you know you can see, it's over.
That's crazy. That's pretty. Damn. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's actually not that bad. A $900 pass for movies.
It's not for an entire week and like technically 14 days. Yeah, like 14 days.
As long as you're on it.
You get access to the music, the comedy, whatever.
Oh, and there's a student discount.
Student discount. If you don't mind updating us on how much that is. And then Gray on the Water also gave a little comment here.
It's a month's
I got to go, but in case anyone wants to know, volunteers get free badges. So save yourself $1,000.
That was, I meant to mention that.
Free food too.
I meant to mention that because there's volunteers everywhere that have free access to movies, but they always have to wait to the very end. The volunteers at South by actually get film and TV passes. They can't use the express option, but they can line up in that secondary line as early as they want.
You know what else those volunteers get?
It still means they end up in that same line that like Zach got into Civil War on, you know, they can go in that same line with everyone else and prioritize their way ahead of anybody in that music area. Like it's a good deal. Sorry, Zach, you go.
No, I was going to say, you know what else the volunteers get is they get their meals comped at Shilantro, that Korean barbecue bowl spot that I was talking about. That's not so bad. That's not so bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So we're volunteering next year?
Good looking bowl of chicken right there.
Yeah, honestly,
South by volunteer next year
really well, and then actually give you the opportunity to like coordinate so that you can be off when there's something you want to see. Obviously, if it's really hype stuff, you're going to be fighting with like veterans and stuff, but it's still a really good system. I was sitting next to somebody who got into a bunch of movies and she was there as a volunteer. So yeah,
Pretty clean.
mm-hmm.
I just want more of the.
Oh, it's half off for students. Is that students all across the country or just students in Texas? Is that like a Texas student discount, or is that an American-wide or like a worldwide student
I'll
discount?
go back to school. I'll take basket weaving 101, bro. To be honest, I'd queue for hours if I met Visa. Yeah, again, so to wrap that part of the questions, I do think that while it is a steep price where you're dropping a rack for it, you do get a whole music festival. You do get a whole movie festival. I mean, the fraction of the stuff that we got here for free was the physical stuff, the food, the drinks. Baby, you're getting your money's worth. I do think it's just
like all I had to do was barter with a dude, and I got this. It's fine.
Yeah. Wiley said last year the platinum badge with the student discount was $900
for the platinum. That's good
for the platinum, which is the top tier badge.
That's the top tier one. Like you
that's
just
fuck
up
tier
for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
damn. That's pretty good.
We got one last question from the live stream a bit earlier. Arpit asked us, do you guys think Monkey Man has anything that'll stop it from being released in India? We talked about Monkey Man on the podcast. We have a whole review for it, but we mentioned that we are not as immersed in the political stuff. There've been some stuff coming out in the days since then that's been pretty interesting. Apparently, some of the colors in the trailer have been changed from the Hindu Nationalist Party's colors that are orange to the Communist Party's colors, which are red. So they are making some accommodations already, probably in the hopes that it will get released in India. But the rumors on that movie are that the reason Netflix dropped it is because of their fears about how the film would land in India.
I don't know if it's necessarily how it would land, but like potentially prevent them from doing work with like an area of India in the future. But I'm sorry, at that point, like maybe just don't care. Like maybe you just shouldn't care about that. But yeah, there are changes. I did go through the trailers last night and look, and that is a thing. Apparently, according to Siddhant, our viewing was red. It had already changed for the release, the full release of the movie.
Okay.
So we saw the more updated version, I guess.
So I don't know if anybody other than programmers and Netflix reps would have seen the original version with that original trailer. I do know that, like, regardless of that change, according to people who are more in the know about Indian politics, the movie doesn't really do a good job engaging with that aspect, which I could tell just from watching. Like, I don't think it's in terms of things being left out. I just don't know if they were quite prepared to engage with it the way it needed to be engaged with.
Yeah, is it Civil War again, though? You're approaching a topic. Like, why even touch the topic then?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of it's more representative, right? Like, I don't think they're meant to be like actually the government officials, but more like the idea of somebody in the government or the idea of somebody who.
Then they should just change it to a completely unrelated color entirely. Don't change it to a different political party's color. Just go completely different. Like, do the Top Gun thing with you can't see who it is.
Hey, I actually agree with you.
A bad guy. If you're gonna play that game, just commit. Because this seems weird. I also just heard that I definitely got the vibe when he was introducing the movie that it was a kind of a mess to make, and unfortunately, I do think some of that mess hits the middle of this movie, and a lot of that like trying to build it outside this initial revenge plot into this wider thing, which I think are the movie's bigger problems. But I don't know if it won't get released in India. The people that were Indian in our audience were very excited about this movie, very, very excited, whether it was just for dev, but I assume it's a mix of everything. Like, everybody loves it when something from their culture is getting so much hype and appreciation that they can feel really excited about. So that is cool. So I assume it's going to be released, and I assume that's why they've made these changes.
Yeah. I feel like people are hyped for it. Like, Indians are the ones calling it Indian John Wick. Like, they are. Y'all came out saying it was a good action thriller, and I think that aspect of it will stay there. As long as they don't change his abs and alter that before I get to view it. Was good. I had to mention. Y'all remember this? When Red Dawn changed the Chinese government to just be South Korean in post-production. That's
Kevin.
what I feel. The first time I heard the Monkey Man news, I'm like, damn, they're just changing that. All right, let's keep some other movies going as we get to the docs over here. Zach had brought up his worst. Amanda knew to have a better time than to sit with some of these boom movies, but Zach did have the chance to catch this other movie called A Nice Indian Boy.
Yeah, I gave it a quick shout out during our top 10s. I made it an honorable mention, but I wanted to give it a little bit more room because I thought it was a pretty delightful film. the new film directed by Roshan Sethi and starring his partner, Karan Soni, who you probably recognize from films like Safety Not Guaranteed or Deadpool. I really like Karan. I think this is a extremely good fit for him because this is a role that plays into his awkwardness, but also his charm, and also allows him to portray his sexuality. He's in a relationship with Jonathan Groff in this movie. I always love Jonathan Groff. He's pretty extra in this film. Like, his character is somebody who was adopted by Indian parents. But I think the dynamics are really fun here. You have another actor that I really love in Sunita Mani, who plays his older sister, and there's this whole dynamic about how the different siblings were treated, and who got to do who got to live their life as they wanted, and who's living their life in their parents' vision in a way.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really interesting elements there, particularly the elements with the parents. I think that more than the romance, it was the developing an sort of like an adult relationship with your parents, redefining who you are once you know more about yourself with your parents. That made me really connect to this one. Like, it actually got a couple tears out of me by the end, which I don't know if I was fully expecting. Really charming, really cute. Definitely think people should make some time for it when they have the opportunity to.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was pretty bummed not to have been able to catch, but it just didn't. I don't even remember why it didn't work. It just didn't work that time.
Maybe that link that's out there will float its way over.
I think that's why. I think we couldn't get into the premiere, and then something else was conflicting with it, the secondary showing, and I was just really hoping they were going to float that down my way.
Did you go to see Dune? Maybe, because I know I didn't see this because I went to go see Cheech and Chong.
No.
Or maybe you had seen the Alamo one.
No, I might have done Dune, but I didn't think that was conflicting on that day.
Maybe that was when you went to I Wish You the Best?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I wish you all the best. Yeah. Either way, couldn't make it in.
You had a great Q&A clip as well.
Oh, man, I wish I had that queued up.
Describe it, because it was adorable.
Yeah, so I think it's Zarna, if you want to pull her up. I don't know if she'll even have a picture, because I believe this was her film debut.
Look, she's a comedian.
Yeah. But this is her first acting role. And apparently she heard that she's got to be disappointed in her son and her husband. And she told Karan, okay, I'm in. I'm the perfect person for this role. But I loved her comment at the Q&A. And in my first movie, my son's a doctor. Just very playing into the stereotypes, but very funny.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good movie. We liked 7 Days, which was a fantastic movie with him. And the rest of it looks pretty good.
Be a little better.
Damn. Someone had also mentioned, I know you were fully on board with the Sundance winner Persian version. They're saying that it sounds a little bit similar. Would you say it's not necessarily the same? But
no, I think Persian version has a lot more irreverence to it. That's a movie that's jumping back and forth through time. There's like dance sequences, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, there's a lot.
This is much more of like a down-to-earth drama with comedic elements to it than that one.
Sounds good. All right, going through a couple of the other ones, there was this one thriller. I'm not sure if you guys got to catch it off the platform. I caught it like right when it was about to expire. And it seems like it doesn't even have a picture over here, but it's this one called Hunting Days, and where this woman ends up joining a group of hunters out there. And like, you think it's going to be like a revenge thriller where she needs to run away. She becomes one of the boys.
Yeah, she's one of the boys. Yeah.
Until somebody else appears, and it causes her to either decide to stay with them and be a part of this wolf pack that she's really getting along with, or do something else. And I thought it was a pretty decent thriller. I'm not saying that it's one that would have made my top 10 if I would have seen it in the theater, but as like a streaming, especially as a streaming release, I think it's like the perfect thing that can make the charts because it's pretty short. And all the performances, the way that it builds up towards the end, I think make it a fun watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Wanted to check
that was one of the last ones I caught.
Yeah. I to me, it was between Hunting Days or High Tide. Zach told me twice. He goes, I know you like Marissa Tomei. No. So I went this one instead. One of the ones that sadly not everyone was able to get into was Omni Loop. It was one of our most anticipated. I know Zach has a crush on Mary Louise Parker. Io is just like the biggest that she wasn't even there, but they had to dial her in. I was anticipating this one because it's the woman with a black hole. I thought that out of all the time loop movies that we had, Desert Road was better. Y'all had the
yeah.
Benson Moorhead produced one that was better. This is not bad in any way, shape, or form. I really want you guys to watch it. I was hoping we're all gonna be able to get in there. But this director,
I knew we weren't,
had everything linked
yeah.
up to the front because he had so many producers there. He's like the next up. They're keeping an eye on this dude. And the only issue is that this wasn't playing at the Paramount when there was nothing there.
That's
and
what I
wonder
don't
if
get.
sometimes it's to hype up. Think about like when
I
the
think.
Rotten Tomato score is really good and they stop giving out links because we're like, we're going to pause it there.
Yeah.
They could say they had a sold out screening for Omniloop.
Yeah, they can say that. Like, they look at how many people were trying to get in that couldn't get in. And it's like, yeah, because you put it in a theater that has like a third of the capacity, if even.
Yeah, it's decent. I think you guys will like it. And I hope you guys love it, but I think it was just a decent watch that kind of goes into the realm of what this like being stuck in a loop really represents of a person who's stuck in this stage of their life. But
I think a lot of
wins for me.
I think a lot of people are probably going to be really curious about how Io was in this film. Is it similar to the characters she's played before?
Zach.
It's Io.
Zach, what's the non-Io role?
9-9.
I mean, do you like
camp is probably the farthest away from what she normally does, but
no,
it's not
because I just saw a theater camp clip and it's pretty. It's actually the funniest of her Io in this.
Yeah,
when she runs the mask thing. Which again, it's weird because it's like the Alana Glazer thing. We know some people may not be into that type of comedy. We do. She killed it there. Io does what Io does. I don't think she's looking to change the formula, but it is very much the like she's starting 3 sentences at the same time. Same Io.
Gotcha.
But it works for the character that they have her here. It leaks a little bit more into dramatic, not as much as what the bear did. But another Groundhog Day type movie to keep on the radar. I think you guys had talked a little bit about Arcadian as well.
Oh, yeah.
I gave a mention to Desert Road, which I think all 3 of us caught, and that was
really
a good
good.
surprise. I don't know if you have any other features to mention before we get into the documentaries.
I guess like another little nod to Arcadian, just like it might not have been perfect, but like that creature design in Arcadian is really cool in my opinion. I think that's kind of what sets it apart the most. It's definitely a little bit of a different role for Jaden Martell as well. There is unfortunately an entire aspect of this movie that just does not work. Yeah, like I understand why there's an aspect there.
Yeah, April 12th.
Yeah. Sheesh. Yeah, there's an aspect I understand why it's there, but I just don't think they needed to explore it as thoroughly as they do by the end. That was totally unnecessary in my opinion when I found out that it was like, the person who was originally in this role just bopped out like 1 week before filming. It's like, cool, you probably didn't even need to replace that character. You probably could have just done something else and you wouldn't have even need that person. But
it's not a main character?
No. Well, technically, but not really. Not one of these 3.
Okay.
But yeah, very cool creature stuff. There's just like a very interesting aspect to what's going on with like how Jada Martell thinks that I really wanted them to explore that more, and they just kind of don't. It's just another one of those things. It's like cool concept, really cool creature design, cool world, and then they just don't build enough in it. In my opinion, it's like one of those like the direction you chose to go with it just feels a little bit stale. But it was good. It was good.
How was Papa Cage?
He was. You go.
He's fine.
He's
like
fine.
He doesn't have as big of a role as I think you're expecting when you hear like monster movie with Nick Cage. Like Jaden is really the main character here. He has a couple moments.
Yeah, I'd say the thing I appreciate. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say that it's a bit more of the reserved side of Cage. It's a little bit more of like the pig performance and not the Wally's Wonderland or whatever kind of performance.
Yeah, but what I liked about that is that he's
that tone, not that level.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah, not that level, but it's like he's a good dad. It's like one of the kids does shit and you're waiting for him to like haul off and hit him or something, or just go.
So opposite of the strange color out of whatever.
Yeah, color space, literally, not just like the weird unhinged. I'm like, everyone's like, yeah, but he was like, this was what happened. I'm like, no, he was like that before that shit happened to him. He was just already weird. This is really more the kind of like, son, I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fault that like I didn't do that. It was, I liked that. It was not what I expected for a dad in an apocalypse scenario.
Gotcha.
And I appreciated that. Whether or not that caused some of the problems down the line, he does have a moment at the end though, where he does kind of just go like Nickinator, I guess we'll say, but like
it's a little cagey.
The Caginator.
He got Cage. Okay. I like
that. Cage. But yeah, it's definitely Jada Martell, I would say, is more the standout in this movie than anybody else. So
with it coming out in April so soon, do you recommend it in theaters or you wait at home?
Wait for home.
think you can wait for Home. It's got that Shudder release lined
Yeah,
up.
Fair. Good
exactly.
point.
You just wait.
All right, let's move on to the documentaries. We had a good amount of documentaries in our top 10 because we're nerds. But we did have some other ones that intrigued us by the titles alone.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular was a very kosher title of Dickweed. You did bring it back. I literally thought you left it. Dude. I thought you left
someone
it.
has to save the Dickweed poster.
I walked through TSA security with this guy wrapped around in a headband, so I could bring this back for a movie I did not like. It's like not a good movie at all. It's not really worth keeping this around. I'm not gonna.
That's fair.
Put it
It
on
was
my
a cool
wall.
poster, though. It was cool. It was kind
Was.
of good.
Was.
It looked kind of fresh.
Zach, tell them what buffoonery they were on with this doc.
Yeah, tell the people.
It's that Tyler the Tiger King, like trying to critique somebody while also giving them the platform. Like,
yeah, like it's this really captivating story of, you know, crime and a sudden like kidnapping, and obviously it's got the hook of like a dude gets his dick cut off. Like, I want to know what's going on there. It does have, Tiger King is probably a pretty good comparison because it does pull you in, and it's like I need to know why this is going on. But at a certain point, they get an interview with one of the subjects, somebody who I don't really feel like we needed to hear much from, given the things that he reportedly did. And they just focus on him. Like, please, I want to stop listening to this man. I think it's the same problem that Hulu version of the Fire Fest doc had, where they are spending too much time talking to the perpetrator of the crime and not focusing on what happened, right? I don't.
It's a misstep.
Yeah,
big misstep.
It's a big misstep, and it left me pretty uncomfortable, despite thinking some of the story was pretty interesting.
Yeah, and those are usually the frustrating ones, right? Something that intrigued you, something that's got something going for it, and then it's like you're flipping it in on itself. You do not need to give this guy that attention. The documentary almost tries to save him, to rescue him, to explain why he did the things he did, and at a certain point you just go, you ran out of documentary, didn't you? I think this is better as like one of those Netflix series where it does like an episode covering this,
or like a Vice doc. If you cut it way down and made it a Vice doc.
Yeah,
exactly. Great point. Watch it in that way. It's still an interesting story because it's insane. So it does get top 3 best titles out of the festival, in my opinion.
It'll definitely do well if it pops up on Hulu or Netflix or something.
Yeah. Hey, and top 3 moments right there was Zach ripping the poster. The next one that we have is a film about the Black Keys. We kind of mentioned this a little bit when we were doing our major big recap thing. I know very little about the Black Keys other than they won the Grammys, obviously, and their song's always on Q101. Y'all maybe know a little bit more about them. This documentary tells you that they know nothing about each other.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I've seen a lot of like behind the music style documentaries, and I don't know if I've ever seen one where the people say quite so bluntly, like, we are not friends. I think Patrick Carney says at one time, like, this is a sort of an arranged marriage. Like, they've come to have a sort of friendship, it seems like, but they kind of launched ass backwards into their careers as guys who only sort of tangentially knew each other. And I think, as interesting as that is, and as much as I do feel like I learned about them, they're just elements of this documentary that I feel like are a little bit strange. Like, a lot of it is centered on like Patrick Carney's weird grievances. Like they bring up the Justin Bieber Twitter drama and shit like
he
that.
made the doc just to vent about that.
Who is Justice Bieber?
He's got moments. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a little bit weird. I also feel like, as a big fan of a lot of the Black Keys music, particularly some of the early stuff, like, it's just so disinterested in that section of their career. They
I like
basically
that. It was so random. Yeah.
it's weird. Like they made a decision at a certain point, like we should probably make radio hits so we can make more money. But like y'all were playing in Madison Square Garden, the theater at least.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
then, you weren't an unsuccessful band. Can we
Yeah.
hear
Not at
about
all.
10 a.m. Automatic? Can we hear
Yeah.
about Rubber Factory?
Yeah.
But no,
There's
they just want to talk about brothers and all the music videos that went viral.
Yeah. Toilet
Yeah.
paper? What was it? Was it toilet paper commercial that they were like, you losers didn't like us taking a toilet paper?
Yeah.
Like that's a little bit of the doc trying to justify what they did.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit like Grudge, responding to grudges, right?
Yeah. There's a couple of bands that are like that. And it's always
Right?
duos. It's like you guys have
always
so
duos.
little to navigate. Why do you hate each other? It's like them and Death from Above 1979. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I also love the duality right now in the chat. Not a Black Keys fan. Love the Black Keys.
These are great.
Hey,
El Camino, that album, that's
Camino's pretty
ah,
good.
Camino.
I did start listening a little bit more of them when we were over there and on the drive back. I think that it's interesting to have these documentaries. Zach and I always mention, when is it an outside artist looking in on them to be able to get something as, you know, objective as possible? And when is it we've given this
Bon
type
Jovi.
of name. Like yes,
Yeah.
Bon Jovi definitely is the worst part of that, but not necessarily a profile doc. We had a name for it. When it comes from the artist, when it comes from the
Yeah.
subject themselves making it, it almost becomes like a piece for them.
Yeah,
but it was
it's like a
interesting.
puff piece. It's like a little
A
puff,
puff
dog.
piece, yeah.
Yeah, puff
They're
dog.
not Drake in Future yet, but
It's kind of the way that like Bohemian Rhapsody feels when it's like the rest of the band members come like, we would never do that. We were with our
Yeah.
girlfriends and wives.
exactly. So yeah, film
Yeah.
about the Black Keys. Don't know how they're releasing it, but it's the Black Keys. It'll get a big one because this thing even had the Paramount.
Yeah,
when
it was
others
one of
didn't.
the few documentaries, I think only 3 this year, that played into the Paramount, the bigger
Right.
South by Theater.
Cheech, Black Keys, and I don't know what the other one is. but
Faders Up.
The big that was a big one too. That was getting a
Yeah.
lot of push. I did not get to see Faders Up, but I did get to see this other one called Any Other Way, the Jackie Shane story. I mentioned it in the honorable mentions, just to give it another quick shout out here. It is about this artist who her whole family, because she was trans, kind of ignored her, and the music studios never really filmed her. So a lot of this documentary is done with them recreating what it would have been like for the recordings that they have of her only in audio. And I thought that was such a fascinating approach to see it, to understand her story. And they meet up with a lot of the families who are like, we just never knew her story. Part of me makes me go, well, when did you care? Once you realize you got the inheritance? I don't know about that, but that's the only little critique that I have about how they're all coming together. The way that they recap her story and are able to showcase the just the impact that she had. I like the dissection of the lyrics when it's like those old school people thought she was talking about something else, but subliminally she's talking about being with another woman. Clean stuff like that. I would definitely put this on your radar, and I like that this was getting a lot of love from other people who are seeking out this documentary. So definitely one that I would like to highlight again. Any Other Way, the Jackie Shane story.
Nice.
This next one is a doc on Zach. What is Adrian in the Castle?
Did you catch this?
why did
Because
you watch
this might have actually been the movie that I enjoyed the least in South by, if we're being real.
Try to explain
Okay.
it to people what the approach to this documentary is.
So this documentary is about this couple that I guess really, really loved each other. And part of that love
Yes.
involved these very extravagant, theatrical kind of like, I don't know, renovations to their living space and lives and homes. They
were
turned
extra.
their Indiana or Illinois house into a castle because
No,
that's
please
sort
let
of
it be
the way
Indiana.
she felt like she
Oh,
wanted
it's
to live.
Illinois.
Illinois. There you go,
Oh.
bro. You can go visit.
Loss. Big
yeah,
L.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are responding really positively to it. So I don't want, there's a chance that I just did not get on this movie's level, but I just felt like it was a series of like insane requests and like the husband just indulging them out of sheer, like, I don't know,
He's like Ben Falcone.
simping. I don't know. Like it's weird. Yeah, he's her Ben Falco because he Falcone because he just does
I know.
whatever it is to sort of put her in the artistic position she wants. It's
Oh.
weird. I just felt like it was like a strange dynamic. Like they talk about how it's this like intensely loving relationship and the love they had was so important and powerful. And I just never like felt that. I just felt like the how they were indebted to each other for all this work.
That's how Zach pitched it to me. He goes, bro, I felt bad for the dude. Like, I
Yeah.
don't he's like, oh, they're pitching this to me as a love story, but I want to do Homer to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. There's something very fun when you realize that, when you're just kind of like, get out, homie. So good.
What, the
That's
sets are
Sundance?
like romantic music and stuff?
Yeah.
That Sundance one,
stock.
I
Love
can't.
Machina.
Yes, you're just like, get out.
I'm so glad that was right there with you. That was
Yeah.
another weird one there where they went so eccentric on their lives,
Yeah.
pitched it as like, this is an AI document. No, this is a story about their weird love together
Yeah.
through culture and all these
Get
different things.
out.
I'll have to finish this one, Zach, unless they get the Google notification about us.
Oh man, I hope not. Oh.
Link deletes, but guess he loved her. Hey, love is love, right?
Yeah, love is love.
Love is love, even if you're trapped in the castle. Adrian in the Castle. Hey, it's a Canadian movie.
Fuck.
Canadian movie. So we're both to blame.
Our
Illinois,
money's still
Canada.
worth the most in your Civil War.
Let's move on to some sports related ones because a lot of these are interesting because it's like you come here for the soccer and no, there's a war. Yeah, come here for, oh my gosh, a twin who's in the gym, who's in gymnastics, and it's like, no, it's actually we're getting into some deeper topics. Zach, you got the chance to catch Lions of Mesopotamia. I caught it a bit, not knowing too much of the story, but you remember this period in time, right?
Yeah. I mean, this was a really interesting look at the Iraqi soccer team who shortly after the war in Iraq started, were able to go on a pretty miraculous run. Iraq is not a country that is typically like a superpower in the world of soccer. So for them to make this run to the Asian Cup was pretty remarkable, but to be doing it in the midst of their country being in conflict, in their personal lives, being in turmoil, it's just really fascinating stuff. And I think what's cool is that they get interviews with people who are on the team, and you see like just how conflicted they felt, just how they were struggling with the idea that their success as a team could be seen as a
something
as a
against
benefit of the consequences of the US's invasion, right? They didn't want to become co-opted or tools of this war that had killed so many of their friends and relatives. So just balancing that while trying to, perform your best as an athlete, while your country has this like golden generation of soccer talent. I thought it was a pretty compelling story. I like this one. I think, if this was like a 30 for 30 or something, it would get some buzz. So if that's the kind of style of documentary you're into, you should definitely be on your radar.
Solid. That sounds sick. Yeah. I'm blanking on that name from that one from last year that was sponsored by Red Bull, where they were doing like horse. Do you remember? That was also in the Middle East.
Shoot, yeah.
It had I'm blanking on what it is, but that's still not out. So hopefully this gets a better release than that. Another one, I'm not sure if any of y'all got to catch it. 7 Beats Per Minute. It's a story about like free divers, and I thought it was pretty good because it's also them trying to contrast a lot of stuff that they're going through in their life and how they use this to get out of trauma. I'll pull this one up a little bit more because Billy and Molly was another one that is brought to you by National Geographic. So this just looks pristine as can be. I think they had 3 movies at the fest, and I didn't get to see the other 2, but I think this was the better one. The people who help these otters, they can't have kids. This is their extension of that. I would connect it a lot to that one that got us all the beanies at Sundance about the hummingbirds.
Every little
this
thing.
is that
which
for
was also
otters.
at South by the way.
Also at South by, really good double feature if you're catching both of those. How people are able to mend their trauma by helping those who can't be helped, these animals, and just stunning footage because Nat Geo don't play. The final one here. Zach, did you catch She Looks Like Me?
No, I did not catch it. Sorry.
All right. Oh, we don't have the poster here, but this, the premise, right? Like, tell me what you know about this movie, and then I'll tell you what it really is.
Well, was it like long lost siblings or something? Sisters? Yeah.
That's like the pitch of the movie, kind of. That there's a girl who she specifically has. I want to make sure that I get it right. Because she has a condition where
born without legs,
she's always lived her life kind of being this like scrappy girl who got to do it on her own. One day looks up on the TV and sees like the famous gymnast who looks just like her. You think it's going to be this crazy twist on what happened. They get a little bit into the adoption. No, this is a movie that straight talks about gymnasts getting abused.
Hmm.
It is a bait and switch, probably in the best way possible, of getting you in here for that like 3 identical strangers type thing, and then talking about the institution that is gymnasts. I mean, as you can see right there from the people who are involved, they get some talking heads in there. Yeah, I think most people know the story. It is that gymnast story of the guy who was taking advantage of a lot of people, and really just how the way that they run these things. They're very young athletes who only have a certain amount of time to do this sport, and they push them to a degree that's like insane. That really is what the movie is about. So you come
Larry
in,
Nassar stuff at Michigan.
that's him. So it takes that turn, and I think it's one of those where they switch it up on you a bit, appropriately so. So keep this one on your radar. If you don't know too much, if you know already about it, I think you're kind of getting a highlights of it, but it is important, especially with the talking heads that they get. She looks like me, coming from the UK, interestingly enough. But there you go. This next bit of them that we can go through: How to Build a Truth Engine. Austria making a documentary about how the truth can be fabricated. We all saw this in Mission Impossible. I don't know if it stood out to any of y'all. It's your standard doc.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty intelligent in the way that it tries to sort of like cast a wider net and show sort of like the reverberations and like the paths that different false truths take to get to people. Like, I don't know if there's anything revelatory here, but it's pretty comprehensive and pretty effective.
Yeah, I'm like pretty familiar with a lot of this stuff just because of my educational background. So it didn't necessarily feel like it was going anywhere particularly new, but it is just kind of cool to have it all in like one spot like this. It's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another one very similar would have been The Antisocial Network. This one's going to be coming out to Netflix. I know, Zach, you got to see it.
Yeah. This one talks a lot about how 4chan and places like that sort of were meant for outsider internet culture, different types of memes and stuff like that, that ended up having a sort of side growth where people sort of went into that intense right-wing conspiracy theory type of way. Like the 4chan molded and reformed itself enough times to essentially lead to Q and the whole QAnon movement. And so it's a movie that's trying to connect essentially memes with radicalism, and it does a pretty good job of kind of like connecting all the dots in a way that it doesn't feel like they're making any crazy leaps or errors in their judgment. I thought it was pretty smart. I've seen some other stuff that covered this. I feel like the Q show that was on Max a little bit ago maybe covers some of this area a little bit more interestingly, but that's also a 6-hour docuseries. To get this in a nice clean package on Netflix, I thought it was pretty effective.
What's the Peppa doc?
Feels Good Man.
Yeah, Feels Good Man.
Thank you. That's
probably still the best one out there.
Yeah,
right?
That one's the best. Yeah, for sure.
So if you do catch this one that's coming out to Netflix, keep an eye out for this one, because this was a banger one. Oh, you can catch it for free as well. Feels Good Man is, and the Q show that Zach brought up are really good ones to have on there. Really quick, Alina came through with the goods. Riders on the Storm.
Yeah,
that was that Red Bull one. It's Red Bull Studios, and this is like the only image we have of this movie, and it looks hard. Oh, wait, we have 2 images. It's just small. I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it comes out. But
same.
Yeah, there you go. Just for people to know. Keeping it going. Preconceived had the most insane poster that had people wondering, what the heck is this movie? An abortion movie that is both pro both sides. It is very confusing. I don't know if you guys ever had the chance to see it, because I don't know how to describe it. It's almost directed and put together the same way that those clinics are done, those emergency clinics that pretend to help you out and then do that bait and switch.
Yeah,
doc presents itself that way, and it's trying to do this thing of evenly looking at the people who are like really religious churches that are pretending to be doctors, but then also some Planned Parenthoods or places that may be pushing the decision to have the procedure instead of maybe finding another option. And it tries to give you a very well-rounded look at the scenario and, the health crisis that's happening, but also gets even deeper into the fact that none of these things are regulated when it comes to birthing centers, birthing clinics. They can do anything with your data. And I thought that was the craziest part of the documentary. So keep an eye out. Hey, even if, what's his name on the HBO? that late night tonight, whatever, he can break this down perfectly. But that is the most important part of the documentary that I think makes it worth the watch. Preconceived.
Nice.
And the last one, another one that I'd given an honorable mention, Role Play, a documentary that takes all of the people at this campus, the students who have been arguing and fighting for better protections because sexual assault is like really massive. And they decide to turn it into art the same way that the movie is art, where they showcase it as a series of shows, plays, where they are kind of showcasing to you what it is that happens. Almost the I love you forever. We're not going to tell you what these things are. We're going to show you what they are. And it is uncomfortably urgent. That is Role Play. Let's wrap it up with the ones that I think we like the most. I don't think we need to say too much for Secret Mall Apartment other than shout out director.
Yeah.
We appreciate that because this was actually one of the better ones that made our top 10s. And Zach told me, dude's already got a classic a couple years ago.
Lily Topples the World. Jeremy Workman is a very good documentary filmmaker.
That's 2 back-to-back, both from South by too. So keep this one on your radar because it's about this group of friends in the 2000s who literally lived in a secret mall apartment. It lives up to the name.
We talked about it a little more in our top 10 of the Fest video, so you can always check out.
Definitely worth it. Same thing I had mentioned a little bit for We Can Be Heroes, which talks about these LARP players and how they are able to escape. And I thought it was very interesting when you have it full screen to them entering that world and really being in that zone. Also won, I think, an audience award. So shout out to them for that. And then I didn't get to catch it yet, but I know you mentioned it in our top 10 as well. Omar and Cedric. I don't know if you had any other final words for that, but
yeah, I mean, I just thought this was a really interesting documentary, particularly because it is sort of like a stealth, the Mars Volta by music doc. Like it really centers Omar and Cedric, Omar Rodriguez Lopez and Cedric Bixler Zavala, who were both members of At the Drive-In and then later formed the Mars Volta. But it's not like your typical music bio doc or whatever, in that it's like trying to chart the creation to success to fall of a band or whatever. It really is kind of the relationship between these two guys who grew up together and started making a lot of home movies together and discovered drugs together and, you know, basically have lived a very interesting life opposite one another. It really is their friendship because they, you know, despite having moved on to other partners and moved on to other projects, they are soulmates in a way. And I thought there was something really beautiful in almost like making the music an afterthought to just the way this film depicts their evolving friendship over the years. It's really effective. I liked it quite a bit. One of my favorite documentaries that we saw here for sure.
Nice. I was hearing good things. I'm glad. So I got the link for that one. But I think that is all the stragglers that we had that complete our South by coverage. There's no more movies to talk about. Time to go to bed. But we still have activations. The best of the best. If y'all have any big ones that you wanted to mention, I know one thing that I have to showcase. Oh, Zach's got the first one here. This was that Fallout experience. I mean, describe what it was, because I did come back 3 days later and I went up to you guys and I went, I was wrong.
Look at me. Look at me. Popping bottles, you know?
Yeah. So this was probably the most extravagant of all the activations we went to, at least of the ones
there he is.
Centered. Oh, yeah, that's your guy, your haggler.
My guy, my haggler. Had to haggle for some
Walter
coffee.
Goggins.
Yeah, Walter Goggins.
Like, you're living within the world of Fallout. At first, I was like, what Renaissance fair We Can Be Heroes LARPing is this? Rough. What is it? Half an hour in there, we start realizing, okay, we're going to have to, like, be a part of this world. They're not going to know the difference between who's the actor and who's here, you know, for South by. We started noticing that one dude, when he appears again, he's the one who you have to talk to, really be in character, and he'll give you a prize. You're only getting bottle caps in there, like Zach showcasing right there. But when Amanda appears, you'll see that you have to, like, get into character. Yo, I went Juilliard on this man, bro.
You also caught him when he still had some. He would have given me some 20 minutes earlier, but he didn't have any left.
He had given it to, like, some other group that was there. But man, if we had the time, I was gonna come back on a daily basis, just pretend to be a character in Fallout. There was people, I don't know if you've got them, that are wearing the Fallout jacket.
Oh,
like suits that you could pee in.
Oh yeah,
the full, or whatever it is.
Yeah, the cave dweller jackets. Yeah.
The
Vault dwellers. Vault dwellers.
I also had some footage of Zach getting let me see if I can pull it up over here. Do I have it somewhere?
My teeth pulled?
Yeah, Zach was getting his teeth pulled, which was oh, you have it?
Yeah, right there.
It's up.
Yeah, play it. And that's where they gave you that Durango lollipop, which I thought was pretty funny. This is my farther away of Zach getting his teeth pulled because she was extravagant. He's there for a haircut, but then teeth end up falling, and it was a lot.
She like held teeth like on a like together, like they were all tied together. You said when you did it, she like spilled the teeth out all over you, right?
Yeah, no, she sprinkled the guy who went before Alina, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not doing that. And I saw the lollipop, and I'm like, Alina, you got to do it. So I had to do it. Yeah, they do really weird stuff. Yeah, there she held it for you, right?
Yeah.
She probably got tired of picking them up.
They were like on the strip. She hadn't like pulled them off or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was going extra at the beginning. This girl was going extra all day. She was the person who you're supposed to guess the cup game on, and if
I beat her.
Yeah, you get like a coin. Decent for what it was, but overall, I thought it was a cool experience. One of the other ones that we did almost immediately afterwards was the Audible.
Oh,
I don't know if y'all even remember that.
I kind of forgot.
Right? There was an entire Audible
carnival.
Ferris wheel?
Carnival, Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should send you. I have like so many clips of I was spying on you guys from above.
Yeah.
You guys are down, and I'm like, I'm on the Ferris wheel.
Oh yeah, you gotta send us some of those.
Yeah, I do.
I think I got the Audible fare here. There we go.
It was pretty big. When they were gone, it was noticeable.
It was noticeable. It was weird.
Yeah, there's a hole on Congress Street after Audible left. I love that shot of you in the Ferris wheel, Amanda.
Yeah, it's me.
But yeah, they had all sorts of games. We got free Audible.
Rigged. Games were rigged.
Yeah, the games weren't great, but we got some Audible swag out of it too.
Oh, they were okay.
Some decent stuff. One of the other. Oh yeah, right there. This is when y'all were playing the bouncy game.
That one
rigged,
was
bro.
hard.
Rigged.
Was hard.
More rigged than the shooting game at Six Flags, bro. I couldn't believe it. But that one was pretty cool. There was like the Tide Mart that was interesting because they were giving you like Tide stuff that hasn't been released yet for the moms out there. Delta, we didn't get to do. The U.S. military, Zach, I think you were able to see some of the.
Well, you were talking about how there's all the like different creative booths.
It's cool, yeah.
Booths. Yeah, you get to see a lot of cool technology, but also the U.S. Army is there showing off their drones, and that ended up being probably the most controversial thing to happen while we're at South by, because while we were there, dozens of bands, at least a dozen, moved out of the music part of the festival, including Kneecap from Kneecap.
Yeah, including Kneecap from Kneecap.
But wild. It's cool because I mean, like, not the military stuff, but that whole aspect of the festival is pretty cool. I got to try this like hologram technology. I don't know if I even showed you this footage yet, Arturo. It's really cool.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
So yeah, there's a camera and it instantly projects a hologram image of you. So that's me in hologram.
Bro, that's that Willy Wonka TV stuff, bro.
It's nuts. They were apparently the creators were also a hologram, but they were talking to people live from Germany there. It's pretty nuts.
Sick.
Yeah.
Damn. I think this might have been where they also showcase, you know, that new basketball that's airless, the 3D printed one. Like, you get to see some really cool stuff there. So again, this is also a thing that's with your past. There's a lot of different aspects to it that we still aren't even scratching the surface from. But hey, a lot of great stuff. I think the last things to talk about would be just any other last minute things. I know I have my favorite story of the interactions that we've had with people, be it, you know, other Intercuties or Amanda the Jedi fans, LME listeners. There's one person that Zach always makes sure to interact with every single time that we go. And that, of course, is the Paramount Police troopers that always have it out for Zach.
And my face.
You get that vid up. You get that vid.
I see him for one of the stuff, right? And I'm like, hey, yo, I got to snatch a picture of it. They're like almost mean mugging each other. Beautiful work. Every year without fail, Zach is filming. And they always only tell him
anything wrong.
There's a theater full of people filming the Q&A intro. And for
I'm
whatever
filming
reason,
them.
The security guard wants me to stop, not everybody else, but me.
Zach's a problem child. He's
Yeah.
coming in for a ruckus. Only man who's masked too, right? Like the most rule
Yeah,
follower
exactly.
possible. He saw it because he was masked too, bro. He saw game recognized game.
Exactly. He
But-
was afraid to talk to the other unmasked people.
Yeah, overall, really good stuff. We have a bunch of campfire stories, our go-to seats. If you ever find these seats at the Paramount, please leave. Those are our seats.
Or
the
save
one thing
them
I
for
asked.
us.
Or say, hey, that's even better. Yeah, shout out. Didn't you have one of the interviews was also looking out when you guys went to go see when you guys went upstairs for It Comes at
Yes.
Night?
Yeah, I think
Stuff that
Sam
keeps
helped
saying
us
it
out a
at
little.
Yeah.
That one.
It lives
Which
inside.
one? Yeah,
It's
it
What's
lives
Inside. I'm never gonna get
What's
the title
Inside.
right,
It's
but it's
What's
a really
Inside.
good
At
movie.
least he didn't say it
What's
comes inside this
It
time.
comes inside this. But yeah, that's I'm skimming through the pictures to see if there's anything more that I want to showcase, but that is a majority of the stuff that we had the ability to go see. I guess I could show some of the pictures in terms of the people we were able to see in the Q&As. So this was the one from the Omni Loop where they were about to call
Io.
I know we also had some ones for
We posted
people
that
that
clip
we were,
to our social media.
yeah, one of my favorite ones, just seeing Jakey Boo. I know he did it. Boy, he looks so good. Going
That
to
might
the
be a good
IMAX.
question to help us wrap things up. Was there a favorite Q&A of yours?
Oh, I
that
thought
we
you were gonna
attended?
say, did Jake do it?
That one was fun for sure. That one was wild just because of how much they lost control of it. That one was good. I did really like the one for It's What's Inside, just because he was so. They haven't media
funny.
trained me yet, you know. You know.
Oh, for those who wanted a little bit of an insight onto what it looks like when you're standing in line, these are those express passes when you're holding down the fort that you
Mhm.
get. It's almost like your ticket that you get to keep until you have to give it away, unless
Unless they don't grab them.
I saw you reaching for yours.
Yeah. I was grabbing two different things. Unless you're lucky enough to get an actual ticket to an actual premiere. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
I got a bunch of those. I got a
got
bunch
two
of
of
those.
I only got two. Amanda got luckier than me. But if you're less lucky and you don't get that express badge, you end up with the regular Q card, which is this color.
Yeah.
And
So you can
I
see
kept
like
mine because you don't always get in with these.
yeah, and that one was this for Y2K?
Yeah, that's Y2K.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that is 100% my blue pass that nobody gave me, and that's why the number is 100% not covered because it definitely fits in there.
Yeah, it's
speak it up.
definitely not mine.
100%. For those who needed to see it, this is what those after party things look like, and when you're really cool with the bouncers, they don't
Well,
care. They're
they
like,
just they give them back to you. They're like,
Yeah.
same thing for like when I was
"One
going
of
for the
the
Fall
homies
Guy.
from
He was
the
like,
Stells."
yeah,
Yeah.
but then same for the Fall Guy. I was going in and I was like, I got you. I was like, you want it back? And I was like, yeah, I do. He's like, here you go,
Because it is.
little lady.
You don't get to keep tickets because you got your pass. So having
Yeah.
these as memorabilia are they're fascinating, and it's like this is that ticket that lets you into these things to be able to just be mere feet away from Princess Diaries herself. But some really good stuff.
Circling back to the best Q&As, I think that idea of you one might have been one of my favorites, just because
It was
getting
good.
to halfway be so overwhelmed
So overwhelmed.
on stage, just how wild the crowd was and how excited they were for the movie.
Yeah,
that
which is
was
cool. Always nice.
to be there for.
Yeah, that one was fun.
Do you have the picture?
I think I'm gonna go with that. That and Conor McGregor stealing the show for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was memorable at least. Also, Fred Durst.
Fred Durst.
Rocking that weird stance.
He did, yeah. Your boy saying he wasn't Colin Jost for Sing Sing.
Yeah,
Another pretty funny one.
The guys from the gutter were very funny in their Q&A.
The guys were
imagine,
they were pretty good. But hey, overall, that was our South by Southwest recap. Everything that you need to know. Any other questions that you have, definitely hit us up. Any tips and tricks, not just for next year's South by, but Sundance, TIFF, all the festivals that are on the horizon. If you're new to Intercut, you're new into Cutie, that is what we do here on the channel. Any last minute things y'all want to shout out, advice to give? Stories, some campfire stories that you remember. You want to talk about the driving bears, you want to talk about that cart that was driving itself. I think we got it all. Oh, the competing evangelists.
The competing event. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wacky stuff everywhere, pretty much. But
yeah.
No,
Wanky wanky.
Thank you all for listening in. As always, you can hit us up over on the Intercut podcast. Amanda, where can they find more from you?
You can find me everywhere, but mostly on YouTube at Amanda the Jedi.
You can find me at Zshevich across social media, as well as at Multiplex Show on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok for more of my videos.
You can find me at LME Movies or every week here on Intercut, where we talk about all of the latest in movie news, movies, brisket, barbecue, all that good stuff. And until next time, keep watching movies. We'll see y'all. Oh, we'll see you at the Intercut podcast, actually, because we do actually have a patron hangout. What?
Yeah, don't forget about that. If you last chance to sign up and join our monthly patron hangout. But
if you sat here for 2 hours and 3 minutes with us, come on, you know you want to.
Yeah,
that's already 2 hours dedicated.
Exactly.
Come join us over here on the Patreon hangout afterwards for just $1. We'll be hanging out with y'all and talking about some of the stuff that we have on the horizon. So thank you for that. A big shout out to all the listeners. And until next time, we'll see y'all in Texas. Take care.